All right, welcome back, lovely people. We are at another episode, our next episode of the She Sells Weed podcast. I'm your host, Mindy, Mindo Indo.
And I'm your other host, Jax. Just Jax on the internet, that's it.
And we have a very cool guest today, one of my good friends, Haley. And Haley, for the past 5 years, has been the owner and operator of Dixon Wellness.
That's right.
So, we got all the different dispensaries in Sacramento area filled. Anywhere you're at, we got you. Yeah, it is an amazing seeing your story, your come up. You were one of the first of our group to own your own dispensary. Yeah. So everybody was like, what's Haley doing and how's she doing it? And looking up to you in that way. Yeah. So it's cool to kind of get you on here and talk about your journey and how that's been in your life. 5 years is a long time now. Technically not a startup anymore, right? Or they say some businesses, it takes a few years to understand if it's going to be successful or not. Yeah. And, you've obviously made it through, so.
We're making it. Making it. It's, so we actually opened in June of 2018. So we are in year 7 right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Wow. Time goes by so close. Yeah.
Lucky number 7.
Yeah. June 1 was year 7 for us. So that was a huge thing. I'm told year 7 also can be very difficult, which with our current market, I'm like, okay, let's do this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But we're halfway through. We're almost going to be halfway through here soon enough. And it's been a journey. Dixon is special. I always say that. And I mean it, truly. It's a small community. My family and I live there. We are full on in the community. And it's been really blessed for us, too. We are really grateful to be there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's one of the things I really admire is the things that you do to be involved. You're okay, I got to know what's going on where I live, where my store's at, and you have a voice. And so it's important to be able to use that voice and then also be a part of and growing, changing neighborhood, community, and city.
Well, you guys, if you're familiar with Dixon, it's a very small farming town community in Solano County. When we opened, literally it was just the decision of council taking a break for Christmas, and Dixon did not. They kept powering through the holiday season, and that's the only reason we were opened before the Davis dispensaries did. So we were the first to open in Solano County from Sacramento to Vallejo. So there was a huge stretch of people and patients who needed help, and this was right after Prop 64 passed. So it was all everybody was just going off of that energy and really excited about recreational cannabis coming on. Dixon is a conservative community, so they were very difficult about what rules, policies, regulations we would have. My store, when we first opened, they barely wanted us to have signage. I'm not kidding. They're you just have to go find the customers. We couldn't put anything out. They wanted us to hide in the community but serve the community and pay our taxes to the community. So I always make a joke of they were going to let us in, but I think a lot of people resonate with this right now too is they let us in, but they're going to make us pay for it, especially right now with what's going on in California and the taxes. So
I agree.
Again, wouldn't change it for the world. We had a huge success, and COVID was a big part of that as well. I know that's weird to say, but it's true. When we were deemed essential during all of the beginning of COVID, our sales just skyrocketed. It was hard to keep up with it, to be honest. That was our year 3. It would have been year 3. And it was just it was triple our business overnight. It was really insane.
If you go look on the DCC reports, they show you the statistics of the years. It's kind of been falling since 2021, but it's a huge, it went from the first 2 years of legalization to just this huge spike. People had nothing to do and free money. And
look at our industry, a lot of people say we're losing licenses. Well, we are, and it needs to be fixed, but a lot of that had to do with COVID and that there was such a huge influx of customers who wanted to use cannabis, but then everybody had to start going back to work.
Yep.
So they couldn't utilize cannabis anymore. Mm-hmm. So we lost a huge amount of customer basis off of that. Plus also just more competition, more stores opened, which is great. We still advocate for safe patient access. You always should have safe access to your cannabis. And, it's hard when you're the business side and then you're compassionate 215 side. Like I'm always battling those two. It's like the good and evil on my shoulder to make sure like we're still doing things for patients, but we also have to stay alive in this market.
I think that you guys do a very good job of that. Honestly, I get being right next to Dixon, like Ileton's not very far. It's like I have people that come in here and they're like, oh, Dixon Wellness, like they always seem to care. It's like everybody in there knows what they're talking about. It's not a in and out type of service. It's like I mean you can be in and out, but it's like if you're looking for questions to be answered, like Dixon Wellness is the place to go as far as like that area, because you guys do serve, and I think that's probably why you guys have been so successful.
I think it's what keeps us alive.
Yeah.
Of course, I would still like it to be like in the COVID numbers. What we were doing. Who doesn't want that as a business owner? But it also. We learned our niche in that market. We were able to learn, like, no, we can see less customers and still survive because you have a higher ticket item when you spend more time with people. Like,
you do.
They will spend on average more with you. Yep. And so we just really focus on the seniors in our community, the medical side of our community. We are definitely known. Like, even when we first went in for licensing, the Dixon City, like, deemed us. They're like, no, you're going to be our medical dispensary. Yeah. Like, that's what they knew we were going to be. And that's what we've stuck with. Yeah.
When you were just starting your cannabis journey, when you were younger, did you ever think that you would be an entrepreneur, own a store?
No. I mean, I think I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. That part of me, I have a bad habit of going and working for somebody and then running your store, running your business for you. And I learned I need to stop doing that for free. Yeah. So, I mean, I have multiple places that I worked with. And even I worked at State Farm. I did 4 years with State Farm as a customer service representative in claims and then also on the agent side. Even then, I'd be like, well, we need to do this. And you know, and I'm like, but you're only paying me $12.50 an hour. What are we doing here? You know? So that's kind of how cannabis got me. Honestly, it was Kimberly, my mentor, and, we share our mentor. Yeah. But she, through a friend of mine, Ashley, she approached me and was like, I need help and I need people who know how to do like the black and white corporate side of things. And I knew that part from State Farm and from restaurants. So I was able to go and do that and help her through that. And I started just as a front desk receptionist and was her HR representative within like a couple months. I kid you not, because it was needed at that time. It was a 215 dispensary. Like, we were trying to get ready for Prop 64 and we needed to change some things. So I was able to help her with that. And then through that, we were able to start Dixon. And
I think HR is a big part. I mean, with any business, especially where things are hands-on, you're dealing with customers. People are going to be your hardest thing. There's call-outs. There's all of these. Yeah. Doesn't matter how
teams for 15 years. It doesn't change. It's the same all the time, which helps me. Like I know how to mitigate that. I'm not the best at teaching it, but sometimes I don't know if it is teachable. How to just have a real conversation with somebody and not be afraid to have that real conversation and not skirt around the issue. I just get directly into the issue.
I think you could teach it to people if they're willing to learn. And I can speak for that for myself because like I kind of came from like the cultivation world where it's like, outlaw cowboy running around and growing. It's very black and white, like get the fuck off my farm, But when you work in retail, you can't talk to people like that. No. And Kailani, one of the owners here of Delta Boys, like she really saw that I had the drive and the potential, but I just couldn't talk very good to people. And she really coached me, and I really wanted to learn because I wanted to be better with people. I kept failing with people, and it was like, and I knew like I had done something wrong in that, and like I could have been better. Yeah. Because when you look at the best leaders in the world, they can lead anybody, they can talk to everybody, and it's like some people just. They know how to do it right off the bat, or if they're willing to learn, they're going to learn, Well,
and I think you hit it on the nose of saying, like, I knew I wasn't talking to people correctly. Yeah. And that's the hard part. Yeah. Is having people understand, like, no, you're part of this issue as well. Totally. It's not just one person.
It's not.
So, yeah.
And I read in an article, an older one about you, that you were a little nervous about cannabis, that it wasn't your first.
It's not my first. No. I actually so my husband was in the industry. He worked at, like, one of the first dispensaries. Bill Pierce was the owner. It was River City Patient Center, RCPC.
Oh, yeah.
Like off of El Camino.
Yeah.
And so then they went through a raid, right?
Okay.
And so they were shut down. They were one of the first raids that happened in Sacramento where, like, the sheriffs were against it, but the feds were stepping in.
That's
it was
right.
like that time frame. And he my stepdaughter, he had a young kid, and we were first getting together, and I was like, look, you got to go get a real job. Like, this is not working for me anymore. You know, we were doing 215 things, off the wall things, you know, and but it was like, we can't keep doing this. Like, there's this kid, and we were about to have another kid. And so I talked him out of it. We both went and got real jobs. That's when I did 2 years at State Farm. Because I did a 2-year internship with the claims office. So I kind of had a shoe in. So I used that thinking that, you know, this would be a career. I'm going to do better than waitressing right now. Because I was just waitressing at the time. I was like quasied in the industry. All my friends
the insurance
were
job
in it.
felt like the corporate
I was bringing
job.
the food when I left my restaurant job while we're weighing and smoking in the back and helping customers once in a while. So I was like quasied in it. And so I had seen it and I was like, no, this isn't going to go anywhere right now. Well, and this is why, like with Kim, it was part of our conversation in the beginning. It's like, I want to do this. Like, I believe in this, but I need to know, like, we're not just going to be fooling around. Like, I can't work in that type of environment. It's not, I'm too serious, unfortunately, for it.
It wasn't a career at a certain point.
It was a place to hang out and help people. Like, it was fun, but it wasn't, I didn't see the long growth of it.
Right.
So, talked him out of it. We got real jobs, and then Kim approached me, and that changed everything. Because what I saw her dream. I saw what she wanted to do. Prop 64 it wasn't even Prop 64, but legalization was on the front, and we knew that. We knew we had a certain amount of time to get things done. Yeah. So that's kind of where it came in. And then also working with my bestie, Ashley, it's like, I've always trusted Ash. She has such a good business mind. She really does. She's like so brilliant when it comes to this stuff. And I knew if her and I were on it, we would be fine. Yeah. And so that's what we did. And then Dixon was never even on the horizon. Like, I knew Kim might go and try to open other dispensaries, but it wasn't like, I never saw her being like, we're going to do this and you're going to be a part owner. That was never a conversation. It was just a phone call. I remember I was driving to ATA. It was in the rain. I get this phone call and she's like, Dixon's opening up. I want you to go and start trying to get this and I'm going to help you do it. And then we'll share ownership. And I was like, dude, down, let's go. Like, and then we had Deanna as our investor, and our little trio worked really well with each other. We really were so different. Like, people say, we don't get how you guys work together. I'm like, we're different, but we support each other. Like, I let people's freak flag fly, and I just figure out how to work with you within that. Yeah. So I think that's what we all do with each other.
I like how close it is. And I think a lot of people assume that there's a lot of other people involved or investing. Like, it is just our group. And now, right, like, you're one of the investors in my dispensary.
Yeah.
And we're able to, like, keep it going through what had been started and keep that momentum pushing.
We're going to have to write a book at some point. Chat's going to have to help us. Because I think it is a story that needs to be told. Like, I think one of the mistakes we did, it's not a mistake though, it's what makes us unique, is giving that individual ownership. But because we're not all the same name, people don't realize we're all the same group essentially. We're all individually owned, but we have meetings about advertising or products that we should bring on and different things to support each other. So it's weird because we're individual and we all get to do our store our own way, how we decorate it, how we run it, the people we hire. But we still want to keep some of that same motive behind why we got to this of the medical is still there.
Yeah. And things don't work the same city as does other cities. So you have to keep that. To have a store that you do everything the same across the board is a detriment because every city is unique in how they operate what they want, the products.
The customer base,
Well, I mean, take, like, even from here, like, right? I walk in, your guys' door is able to be wide open. Yeah. We can't do that. Like, we have to have, like, I just had to change my whole front lobby again to be in compliance with the city of Dixon.
Yeah.
It was
Ileton's
insane.
an outlaw city, so they let us pretty much do whatever we want. And I feel bad sometimes because people do come here and they're like, wow, it's just so free here. And I'm like, it's because they don't bother us. We're the only taxpayers.
I see a lot of cities and towns that do it, and it does work. It's not, you know, like Dixon, because we're on the state highway, technically, they wanted to take extra precaution, and I understand it. I often say, like, we're the safest place. Like,
did they make you do bulletproof glass?
That's what they wanted.
Okay.
They wanted me to have bulletproof glass from the base of the desk to the ceiling, which we have like 13-foot ceiling. So I was like, okay, let's have a conversation about this.
It's like a bank, right?
Yeah,
like they wanted you outfitted like a bank.
The bank in Dixon doesn't even have it. So I was like, let's have a convo about this. Because, I mean, it had been 6 years. We hadn't had any issues, no crime of any kind. Like, we actually cleaned up the neighborhood, and we have a really great relationship with the city and with our police department. Like, everybody really respects us and we respect them back.
Yeah.
There's just, I will pretty much do whatever you want me to do to be in compliance with the city. That was the one I was like, we need to have a conversation about this, because it was going to change my whole atmosphere. And people already are like, they get a little freaked out. You know, you walk in, the door's locked behind you. Then you go, we have man traps. You have to go through the man trap to get into the sales room. People get really freaked out. And so I had to explain to them, like, I am trying to do something to help people who some have like mental disabilities or PTSD. Like, this is going to heighten it for them. We don't need this. Yeah, so that's what we were able to figure out.
I do like in the pocket how the desk is open, and we did have somebody, we had walkie-talkies, and they were flipping out over the walkie-talkies and the fact that people had things. I'm like, we have to communicate with each other. Yeah. But it was just, you know, mental health.
Our clientele, you have triggers that you're going to have to mitigate and get through, you know, and often people, they just think, because we follow regulation very closely, very tightly, and people get frustrated with us about that because maybe others don't. And I'm like, I can't control others. This is what I know I have to do. I apologize. I swear we'll make it worth your while. You're really going to enjoy yourself when you get back into the sales room, you know. And they always leave with a smile on their face. So that's why I have to, like, with my staff, I'm like, just make sure they leave with a smile on their face. Whatever we have to do to get them to come back and be happy and like, because it won't be as stressful the next time they come back.
Yeah, I have a problem with the state card. And they're like, why do I have to have the recommendation also? Like, no, you do. So I'll just be like, okay, we'll give you an 8.75% discount today, you know, just for you to be happy, but you have to have your state card.
You have to have the state and the rec, because without it, it's not valid, and we get audited.
I have to explain that to people, that the recommendation is just that you've seen a doctor in theory that agrees that you can use medicine, cannabis is medicine. But if you're not registered with the state, when we go to pay our taxes, they have to be able to go back to their systems and go, oh, okay, this person is a legitimate medical patient. Otherwise, like, we have to back pay those taxes. And
one of my friends did get audited, and they had to pay
for that specific reason.
Well, because for a while there, I feel like a lot last year. I've not seen it so much this year, where it was like, they're like, oh, well, this club gives me a discount for my medical card, and I'm like, well, then that's just them. No, I don't do it
though, too. So, like, City of Davis, they have a suggested 1% for medical. So even if you just have your recommendation, you have a different tax bracket. So whereas rec, if you're just rec, it's 10%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's things like that to help customers, to get them to know what's going on. But often customers, you know, we're speaking a different language. They're like, what do you mean? What is this? you know? And it does suck for the consumer, because it is so different from each store.
It is. And something with the taxes that with customers is really funny is I'll get people, they'll be like, oh, they tax you guys like crazy in here, huh? And I'm like, oh, no, they tax you.
They tax you.
They're not us. That's not me. I'm just collecting it for them. But they're taxing you. And they're about to make that go up to even more, just so you know. So, like, I have a bunch of those little flyers around. We're telling everybody, like, just send the email, do what you can, because, that when that tax goes up, like, you think weed's expensive now, it's going to get even more expensive.
We just hold it. Like, we just hold it for you. And what's going to affect us is the fact we will lose customers because of it. They're going to keep going back to the traditional market, and I don't blame them. I've had this conversation a lot recently where it's like, well, you know, the guy down the street, like, and I'm like, go for it. Like, I understand. Economy is economy right now. Like, you need this medicine, but you only have so much to spend, and I just can't provide it. Like, I have a bottom dollar I have to do to keep this place open at the same time. It's such a terrible, hard conversation to have right now.
Yeah, it is. And something I always remind those customers, and that is, like, we kindly tell people, like, when they say things like that, because my bud tenders come to me and they're like, how do I deal with that? And I just say to them, like, they can do whatever they want, but just remind them, be like, well, your drug dealer also doesn't have a store, an electric bill, and workman's comp. And unfortunately, we have to charge a certain minimum. It's the same thing, like, you can go buy not legal alcohol drinks from some guy in a park, you know, and he's a lot cheaper than your local bar.
Comes in a Ziploc bag and it has the bottle with the chaser. I know. I love those. I mean? I think those are fantastic. I'm always good for anybody who's just trying to hustle, you know? I'm like, you hustle your ass off.
You know, but when you go to a bar, like, you know, you're going to spend $14 on a drink. Bars are still open, you know, so it's just, you know, there's reasons for dispensaries having to charge those higher prices. Not like, if we could make them cheaper, We would. Trust me. That's something I always tell people.
And I think it's like, if you are an avid consumer and you know weed really well, you know what to look for, then by all means, you do you. I'm still searching for my big one that I'm always going for is women. And it's because often women have their partner go and do their shopping for them. 100%. They never become part of the shopping experience. And that's something I've wanted to change from day one. My store, people often say, yeah, you can tell a woman owns this. Yeah, you sure can. I did that on purpose. Flowers everywhere, you know, like, and we fit it to Dixon. Like our bar is made out of pallets, wood pallets. And like my husband and I built it. He thought I was nuts. Him and my dad both were like, the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, no, we're doing this. Figure it out. Here it is. Figure it out. Yeah. And they did. And it's still standing. It's fantastic. Now it's like the replica. We built something similar. Yours is much better than mine, but that's where the idea came from. You're like 5.0, version 5.0. But like we really wanted to make sure that the shopping experience was comfortable. So like even down to our music, what we're playing, like I make sure it's not. If I walk into a store and all I hear is dun, 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 I'm like, I'm too old for this. Even me, at my age, I'm too old for this now, guys. So, I try to make sure we're conscious of that we're very caring to everybody. And if you need to have a 30-minute consult and you still don't even walk out with anything, that's okay. That's okay. Because they will come back. Mm-hmm. And, we've always said this for most stores. We're the place you send your grandmother. We're the place you send your mom, mm-hmm. And that still reigns true. We just did Grillin' and Chillin', which is like a big cook-off thing in Dixon. They shut off the whole downtown, and everybody gets to walk around. It's a great time. But we did a booth there. We sponsor it, and we go to the booth. And it's like one of the most rewarding and how I get to connect back with our customer basis. And so many people came to us, and they're just saying, this is what we usually get. You guys are like the old school dispensaries, which I don't know if they always mean that as a compliment, but I take it as one. I'm like, yes, we did it. That we take time and we're just really chill. And that's always what I want. I just want to make sure you don't feel, because I hate feeling rushed. Like, I hate it. There's a coffee place that makes me feel rushed, and I don't like that. Like, I want to take my time. Otherwise, I won't order what I actually want. I'll just order what I think you want me to order so I get out of there.
I really don't understand where the dispensary model came in, where people were like, hey, so bud tenders. Because I've talked to smaller bud tenders. I have bud tenders that come here because of the lounge, right? Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, it's really chill in here. You guys are just like this all the time? And we're like, yeah. They're like, oh, my manager is like, wants us to get people in and out. Like, we're not even allowed to talk to people. And I'm like, I don't know where somebody thought that was a good idea. Like you said, like it's like you get a better sale, you get better retention. So I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like a metric they track, and it's because you could tell through the data how long you've had a customer sitting there, and their thing is, oh well, if you get through it quick, then you can see more people. But then just open another fucking register, like. To figure it out. Do an espresso.
I mean, if your average is like less than 10 minutes for somebody to get checked in and get through, I mean, that's pretty fast in my opinion. You know what I mean? So it's like you shouldn't be rushing people out.
The thing is for us too, of being two different rooms, right? And you guys have that. Most places I think have that. I find customers get anxiety just waiting. So I'm send them into the sales room. Like have a browser in there. Like we have regulations we have to follow about how many people are in the room to how many employees even. But it's okay. Like I'm like, just send a browser and then make sure like it's taught. You greet them when they walk in too and let them know we'll be right with you. Like I think often we get so stuck that I have to be like right here with this customer that we forget. And this is where my bartending experience comes back in of like, no, you are tending the entire room, not just the one person in front of you. And especially with cannabis, we have to do that because we do have some different type of customer bases. So no, if you have to stop your consult in order to go and like mitigate a situation over here, I want you to do that. Yeah. And I want everybody to be said hello when you walk in. All of those things that I was taught from restaurants, that's what is very much taught in our store.
My favorite is the roaming customer that, most people will come in and you can see that they're being like respectful of the space. And so they're looking at probably what they want to buy, but then you get the customer that's like walking all around, and it makes everybody on guard. Yeah,
they join the consults. Those are my favorite.
And you're just like,
hey, Sally.
You're like, hey, Ashley, can you get this customer, please? Because I mean,
Hail Mary over here. I need you.
Yeah, I mean, it's super interesting when you have people like that just want to jump in. Like this guy, we have an email in the lounge that allows people to just kind of go back there and take a dab. They don't have to worry about a button or how to use it. It's just throw the wax on and vape it, right? Yeah. And this guy was like, "Where do you get this from?" And I was helping this other customer, and he was like, "Oh, bro, get a Puffco." And I was like, "It's an email, sir. You can get it at email.com." And he's like, "No, you need to buy a Puffco," like yelling.
I know. It's this is the one, especially if you do medical consults, right? You'll be in 30 minutes of a consult with somebody going through whatever treatments they may be going through. And you are, they're in the verge of tears. Like it can be really intense, right?
It is, yes.
If you get the one person come up, well, this product worked for my friend. And I'm like, oh, we just took 10 steps back. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let me explain this product to you. Yes, but this is why I wouldn't recommend this product. I'm glad it worked for your friend. And they're still like, do you guys know each other? But sometimes in Dixon, because it's such a small community that they do.
Yeah.
Like when we first opened, it was the most incredible experience because it was a high school reunion, family reunions. I had aunties calling out their nephews for being in there, vice versa. Like it was the biggest trip, and we realized we're like, oh man, people might not come because they don't want to run into people like that. So it was like, okay, express program, let's do this. Make sure people can get in and out if they don't want to be seen. I still have people in town who come up to me and they're like, yeah, but I can't be seen in there. And I'm like, I'm trying to get delivery going. I am.
Yeah.
Because they just are But I mean, you have educators in there. I like to tell people, you never know who you're going to see in this store. Like you can come in and see the 19, 20-year-old med rec all the way up to like 80 years old in my store at one time.
It could be like a good thing though, right? Like you don't know someone that smokes and it's like, oh, well now
down the barrier.
We could go get this pre-roll and we could go over and smoke it over here some other part of town.
The auntie-nephew one I think was my favorite.
Yeah.
Because she looked at him, nephew, what are you doing here? And he goes, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm telling my mom. It was the funniest thing. And it was our second day. We had just opened. It was intense.
Yeah, we always say they should make a show, out of dispensaries, but they do have a couple, but it's so kind of satire comical.
Yeah.
That it's not like a true drama. Like there is some crazy stuff that will happen in the dispensary. So
I had a customer tell me there is like some reality TV show about a dispensary. Have you heard about this?
It's not reality. I heard of there's like that one sitcom. It's like a
Disjointed.
Yeah, and I can't watch it.
I
can't.
They're doing an actual reality TV show of dispensary workers. And I was
I'll
like, man, we missed our opportunity. Maybe.
Yeah. Crap. Deanna kept telling me, she's like, sign up for this thing you could get on this TV show. And I was like,
well, we got reached out recently from CBS because they're doing a thing. We have a senior community out here called Trilogy, and they have a 420 group.
I've spoke there.
They have a 420 group. A guy named Tom runs it.
Yes, he's fantastic.
He's a unique character. If you get into some conversations with him, he's done some things in his life that you're like, wow. Okay, you're a brave soul. Like I would never have done something like that, but you go. But there was an idea that they got about a bus from Florida, and they wanted to bring the bus, so they rallied the local bus to pick up all these seniors, and then they brought them here.
Yep.
And so now like the news wants to do this whole documentary on it, and I was like, so just like taken back by that because I'm like, this is CBS, like this is like a big news thing, and they're like doing a documentary on seniors, going to the week.
Those are the wins, and then seniors are going to watch that and they're going to be like, oh, I want to get on that bus.
Seniors are the number one customer. If there's a demographic of a type of person that somebody would be like,
this
the seniors.
This a little dated, the statistic, but they were our fastest growing demographic was the age over 60. And it's because they were put on so many different prescriptions, so many that weren't mixing with each other, and yet all they really needed was cannabis, and they could remove half of their medications.
Oh, yeah.
It was intense. Yeah, no, like I said, we focus on seniors too. So like senior homes, doing talks with them and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Tom is hysterical. We used to talk to him a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad he got the bus going because he used to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I'll just bus him in. I said, Tom, you do what you do. But he was looking for like funding. I was like, I can't fund you. But you do what you do. I support this. He still would come in 4 to 5 people deep every freaking Saturday.
Yeah, he loads them up in his van.
Yeah.
I love this man.
He is the best.
Yeah, it's better because of the lounge. So it's like people can stay and try the products versus.
And then I go in there and I sit down with them usually and be like, do you guys have any questions that you just want to talk? And then I'll get some promos out and pass them out some joints and stuff and just connect with them because
get them a deck of cards in there.
Or the Puffco, when I do bust those things out, I'll pull out the unique things. I forget there's a Hataki bong, I think it is. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's a laser bong, and I've brought that in for them to try.
What? Hold on, a laser.
I'll bring it for the next show.
We need to try this out.
Yeah,
I've never heard of this.
Let me call my girlfriend. It's called Hataki or Hataki. Anyways, so it's got a little laser in it, and it has a little bowl, and it has a bubbler on the bottom, and you click the button, and it runs for its cycle, but it's vaporizing the weed instead of combusting it. But you can see the laser shooting through the chamber, and handing that to probably an old hippie from the 60s who's used to just smoking out of maybe a can or a pipe.
Not true. There are some hippies, they've been doing solar hits for a long time.
This is true. But to hand them a laser bong and they're like, a freaking laser? Their minds were just
I want to see it.
bong.
Where's the laser to the...
It's in the device.
It's in it. Okay.
Yes.
So
I'll throw up a picture for people, and let me find you a picture
I have
of
this
it
vision
just
of
so you can
a
see
laser
it.
on the edge of the bong. And
It goes shoots right in.
Yeah, the only other thing that I've seen that was really cool was there was an attachment to a dab rig, and then there was a secondary water chamber. So the smoke went through the water, it cooled down. The rosin hit.
Jax, that's so cool.
I'll bring it out.
Yeah, that's super
Sponsor
cool.
us, whoever this is. Laser bong.
You'll see my purchase later. Can you overnight it?
Yeah, I'll reach out to them. I'm sure they do some affiliating. But yeah, they have a big one too. I gave that one to somebody else. The lounge has granted me, we get freebies for being buyers, but the lounge I get little freebies like this, where they're like, well, let's put it in the lounge. And I'm like, okay, let's do it, But the thing that a lot of people with the lounge is people are very ignorant to cannabis devices. And I have tried several times with just Puffco alone to loan those out to people, give them a one-on-one on them. And I cannot tell you how many times I've had to go back and take it away from them because they cannot figure it out. So devices are kind of hard. The Volcano people can figure out for the most part because it's on and off. But when I hand them those types of things, they get very I think scared a little bit too. I don't want to break this thing, and so then they're just here, take it back. And I'm like, okay.
Which, let me tell you, the Puffcos are pretty durable.
Yeah, they are.
That's my husband's choice. And I have watched those glass pieces be mistreated, to say the least. And they stay pretty solid. No, so it's impressive.
I think they know that stoners, tend to be
we're
a little clumsy at times.
We can be.
But I'll bring the high Tokyo over for you for sure. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah, no, that thing looks really freaking cool, to be
honest. Oh yeah, it just reminds me of a fun memory that I have with Haley. When we went to Hall of Flowers.
Which one?
What year?
I think it was Santa Rosa, but we were in the hotel. And they knew it. Her and her husband were like, we're going to be the ones that smoke in our room and set off the fire alarm.
We have a saying. We just say, write the ticket.
Write the ticket.
I'd rather you just tell me, how much is it going to be? And I'm going to say, okay, just expect that. And we move on. Don't send security to my door to tell me I'm now going to get this fee. Just, okay.
Yeah, that
you
Puffco,
know why we're here.
The Puffco was ripping.
During Hall of Flowers. Especially.
You know if you go to Hall of Flowers, you know which hotel it is. It's where one of the first years they had a huge after party. Yeah. Now they're not too keen on the cannabis people staying there, but they tolerate it.
The poor flamingo. My first year, I think, was the second to last year, because I think last year was the last time that they're going to do it. But I remember walking in there and I was like, this is where the after party is? They're going to let stoners in here? And they're like, yeah, man, we can smoke outside. And I was like, okay. I was watching that poor restaurant manager. I mean, he was losing it because he's used to, this is a high-end $500 a night type hotel.
No,
this is not the Holiday Inn, okay? And this poor manager, I could just see it in his face. He was like, no, you can't smoke there. No, you can't. I was just trying to.
If this was the same year, he was like, no, go right over here. And I was like, this is closer to the restaurant. Why do you want me closer to the restaurant? I was in my head thinking I need to be more towards the pool. He's like, no, you you need to go closer to the restaurant.
That is the year. Yeah, they wouldn't let anybody near the pool.
Yeah.
Then they were trying to stop people in their private rooms from smoking. It was. I was like, this is.
No,
I don't
they
know
just
who let
came,
this.
knocked on the. Yeah, we go with your story.
Yeah, sorry.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
So what happened in the room?
Oh, we were smoking on the Puffco fat, and then we're like, oh, it's dabs, it's fine. Nope, that thing went off. We were trying to take pillows, do the whole swipe, and it's just not
Did the water
working.
turn on?
So I'm outside the room,
Haley's
but
not
it's
even
on
there.
the ground floor. So I'm just outside the room because I was smoking tobacco. So I was outside looking in, and as I look in, there's probably like only 4 or 5 of us. There's not a lot of us, right? Like, we don't roll deep. I keep my circle very small. There's 4 to 5 of us, but I just watched one person and they just blew the biggest cloud I've ever seen right up into the smoke detector. I'm like, what do you guys think was going to happen? So I walk away. I'm like, no, I will pay for it, but I'm walking away. So I just walk away. I'm like, you guys deal with security.
Yeah.
Like, that's anxiety.
Because they're going to come.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a good time. Oh, they were there. They were on the door.
I could only imagine like the security's perspective of like knocking on the door and they're like, here we go. They
whole
know that
building.
room's going to be fucking full of
As soon
smoke.
as you walked into that section of the building, you knew you could smell it. There's just no way. We had 4 to 5 dab breaks going at one time. But my husband's in the middle of it, having the best time too. Like, he,
Your husband sounds like a fun guy.
It was his room. If he wanted to stop it, he could have stopped it. He kept going. So
we
I
were
just was like,
partying.
okay, we just kept going. It was good. So yeah, we were like, is this per day for the weekend? We're here for 2 more days. Because they do have a beautiful facility. Like, that pool and stuff is amazing. But
it is a beautiful resort.
Yeah.
Tucked away over there for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely got like old school 60 kind of hotel vibes that, like, in my mind, the way the decor is and everything. It's definitely a beautiful space.
The first year, this was really funny. I don't know, it was like first, second year. But it was the big party year when all of us, like, the whole convention was there, I feel like. But it was Farmer and the Felon had just started from Canacraft.
Yep.
And they had those big plastic emblems, that had their logo on it. And they were having an after party in their room, but nobody was in there. So they had all just walked out because everybody was out in like the courtyard by this time. So a friend of mine and we walk in there and I was like, oh, it's capture the flag time. Like, this is starting. So we went and grabbed that huge emblem and we started posting it on Instagram and tagging the rep and being like, it's ours now. And then we passed that around to stores. Like, it went to Dixon, it went to Davis, and we just kept passing it and posting it. It was a good time. That was hysterical.
Time.
And they were like, this is so great. But we were just, a little drunk and having a good time.
Having a good time. That's
I was
right.
like, that's me. If I'm partying, like, watch out for me. I will go and be like, try to do some capture the flag or weird game. Like, it's a total different personality.
I've never heard of doing it that way, to be honest. So you're open in my mind. I'm like, huh. I'm like,
Yeah,
That's fun, though.
I'm like, that
'cause
sounds
then it'll
really
be,
fun.
Yeah, in different stores, and then like you could display it for customers
Yeah.
too.
So,
So,
and
like,
then
for
it'll rotate.
420 this year, right? It was on Easter. That's
Yeah.
what we did. I got eggs and did golden eggs, and they had like $50 off, $20 off, and we went and put them in businesses in Dixon and Vacaville.
I think I saw something online about.
And then
this.
we tagged it, and so like they had to be okay with it, number one. But like the freaking gas station right across the street from us, because it's a well-known gas station if you live in Dixon, she calls us and she's like, I have too many people showing up, and the first guy got it like 15 minutes ago. Like, you guys had just left and he got it, and she goes, I have all these people showing up, and we're like, okay, we'll go put more in there. So then we went and put more in there.
Like, you could take out, a whole bunch of people could have these.
It was,
but it's
we
like,
put coordinates out for like out at the because there's a cemetery that's actually really beautiful. So we put coordinates to it. It was a good time. So I highly recommend doing
That
something
sounds like a fun time. Yeah.
It's a good way to do the stash and dash, but not
That's
have
where Richard, that's where we
products
got
or
it.
anything like
Yeah.
that. Because
No,
Yeah.
that was great. I mean, especially for Easter and 420, like
Yeah.
it was such a funny lineup of a holiday.
The hard part that I missed, because I'm not great on social media, that was getting people to tag us. Like, people would get it and just directly send it to me, because some people like even just had my cell phone number and would send it that way. And I'm like, no, you guys, you're missing the opportunity here.
you're out here doing this.
Yes, I'm trying to rebuild our account. Come on. So that part was
I've
pretty
won
funny.
things off of Instagram just because I read the details of their things and do the things. And then I get a DM like, hey, you've won something. And I'm like, sweet.
I've never won. I've tried.
Oh, yeah. I have a weird thing
Probably
like
am
that.
going for like too big of brands, and it's like a needle in the haystack
So many,
situation.
yeah.
No, well, I have
'Cause it's
weird,
makeup
I have
stuff.
a lucky streak, so like I win weird things all the time. Like my mom calls me very lucky, like I'm very lucky, and I can't win at casinos or whatever. But I'm like the weird person that like opens the soda bottle and is like, oh, $500, and people are like, what the? Who wins that? Yeah, like, but yeah, I win weird things like that. So like I'll like it started when I was a kid. I sent in a magazine thing and won $100. My mom shows up to middle school. She's like, you've won. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I won weird little things like that. So, but yeah, you know, it's
yeah, they're doing a thing. So Shasta Hash Co. has a contest right now with one of their peach strains, and they made it in the shape of a peach, the rosin. So anybody that wins that, I forgot what it's a Puffco. It's a Puffco pivot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
those are cool.
So I was like, you know, weird.
So the rosin product itself is shaped into a peach.
like
Yeah.
a peach.
Yeah.
You better hope you have temperature control.
That's what I said. I was like, well, what if it melts? Or like you
They're
gotta
like,
look right away.
No, that's not quite a peach, and they just dab it, and you miss out on it. Like what?
It's true because not every store stores their concentrate.
Yeah.
Like I've gone to
Yeah.
places where it's just like out on counters, and I'm like, do you guys just have it out there? Okay.
yeah,
like,
especially rosin or
Yeah.
No, I was working behind the counter yesterday, and I put a rosin into our online order bag and went to go to, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I go, I'm taking it out to the desk. They're like, no, you can't do that. And I go, why? They're like, it has to stay back here because it has a rosin. And I was like, but they already ordered it. I'm getting schooled by my staff. They're like, no, you don't do that. And I'm like, you rosin heads
love
are a
it.
special breed.
They are.
Like, okay, I'm not doing it.
They
Anything else
are.
I'm doing wrong today, please just tell me.
That's good though.
Like-
That's good. That means you have a good staff. You know, you have a good
Oh, yeah.
relationship with them, and that's
No, they're-
also really important.
They're family for sure. And they like, honestly, sometimes I'm like, you guys, you're getting older. Like, I need you to go find careers. Like, I want you to do well in life too. Like,
They're like, no, we stay here.
yeah, but they're like, no, I'm good here. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna start retirement accounts. Like, you guys make me nervous.
Yeah.
you know? But no, I love them, and we don't have a lot of turnover. I keep a very small team.
How many bartenders do you have over there?
How many? There's 15, including me and Rich total.
Wow.
Yeah. So we keep it really small. Everybody works 40 hours, and we just stretch it as best as we can. Me and Rich fill in where we can, and right now has been a tough time, but we're getting by, and I still say we're still doing better than any other small business I could go and do right now.
True.
I think we get bogged down in this industry with all the over regulations and the things that we do with, but one thing I know, I can go and do anything else I want to now. Like, this business has taught me so much as far as that goes. But also, I'm still doing better than the average small business owner in California. So I'm like, we're fine.
Definitely, and we're the most taxed.
Yeah.
Like we have to pay a huge tax.
Absolutely.
So that actually leads me to some questions for you. So because you run a small store, right,
Yeah.
in a small town, you also now have to deal with a competitor, right, which is we'll say it's probably got a little bit more branding, and they're a different sales
They're a
model
different-
completely.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
How has that been since they've moved to town? Have you guys gained more customers because of that?
I think some
or-
days we do. Like, some days we get a lot of new customers, and I think it's because of how they advertise, and they're just a lot more out there than we are.
Yeah.
We're also right off the freeway.
Yeah.
When we first came into Dixon, we weren't allowed to be right off the freeway. Our original location was off of Pitt School. So,
Oh, wow.
like, the first exit of Dixon, and because of some public outcry and whatnot, we moved to our current location, which I still think is a great location. We
You have a great location.
We've totally captured the Dixon market. I have no concern of that. We capture a lot of Vacaville market because I do a lot of work in Vacaville also. This is like, my form of advertising is community involvement. I'd rather put the money into that than to mailers that just get thrown away most of the time.
I agree.
And giving that back to our customers through different items that we can do with them too. So it's by doing farmers markets, by doing these community events. I'm in Rotary. I was in Chamber for 7 years with the Chamber of Commerce with Dixon. I still am, but like, I was an ambassador, then was a board member, then became chair of the board. I need a break. And they know this. We've had this conversation. And then with Rotary, all of these things, it's a lot. Like, we have a corporate, Brandy, who used to work with us. She was our person over at Kiwanis. So, like, doing that and getting that word of mouth, because every dispensary owner knows you're still number one. When you ask people, like, how did you hear about us today? My number one is still up there, is word of mouth. It's right up there with Google. And so I just really focus on that and keep that going through doing those different community involvements. And I think that that gives us a different customer base. I know he's doing great. We're doing great. We actually just came together to try to like fix some things through these compliance requests that were happening with the city of Dixon. You know, so I wouldn't say we're enemies. We just each have our own path in our own way. And I'm good where I am. We're happy. You know, they closed early the other day. We got slammed. They called me. They're like, Hail Mary 911. I'm like, okay. And we get down there. We are helping people. And, you know, it was just a different customer basis. I would never turn any customer away. I want every person to shop at my store. But, you know, we have to do a lot of education of like why we carry the products we do, why we focus on what are you looking for, not just the brand.
Correct.
You know, like we don't even do brand incentives. You know, a lot of clubs do where if you sell this product, you'll get this merchandise from this brand for your bud tender. We're like, no, we're going to keep buying your product and we're going to support your brand. So if you want to do something for staff, like give them all a t-shirt or whatever it may be. But I don't ever want somebody recommending a product because they're trying to get a commission, basically, rather than what's best for our consumer.
Yeah, and I think that brands, I think it's sometimes I feel like brands overstep with dispensaries a little bit, like, and they don't really realize it because I know that they're coming from a genuine, honest
they're
place.
Just fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but it's a little bit like I agree with you. I don't like the brand incentives because it throws off my inventory of what's real, because as soon as that incentive goes around, I'm like, oh, well, I've sold all this product. Let's get it again. And guess what? Now I'm sitting here holding.
And you bought more because it did well. And then you're sitting on it.
It's not good. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't like any of that kind of stuff. So I guess that leads me into the next question. Like, when you say particular products and stuff, what do you feel like is different that you really focus on versus like maybe some of those other types of stores that don't focus on?
Well, number one, we want to focus on like legacy and minority women-owned brands. Like we're a women-owned brand, right? Like my store is a women-owned brand.
It is.
So women ran and operated. You know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
She's doing it all.
My husband works for me, you know. He knows it. He loves it. He supports it.
Like I said, your husband sounds really
wouldn't
fun.
be here without me. You know, you were trying for a long time. I made it happen. You made the right decision. No.
Yeah.
So, love you, babe. So it's like, we really just focus on supporting the right brands. We don't, you know, the whole vape gate thing and all that stuff that happens with testing labs and whatnot. I'm proud to say we have had very little recalls, if any, to be honest with you. Yeah. We really make sure, like the voluntary recall, I think we had one of those. Yeah. Mandatory, we haven't had one. And we're proud to say that. Like, it's my buyers, Phil and Rich, they do their job. And they make sure we bring in product that's going to support the small brands like we want to, but you also have to stand behind it. And we have to know that you're not going to be gone within 6 months after we turn all these customers onto you. Yeah. That's a really hard part when you want to support the small legacy. And so we just try to focus on that. Phil is really great from it. He's actually, he's like our little golden star, and I only have him for a certain amount of time because he's here because his wife has work here. And then once that's done, they're most likely going to go back to Montana, where he's from. And he used to cultivate in Montana, ran a retail store up in Alaska. So he was already familiar with metric.
How cool,
like, I was like, seriously, how do I get you to work here? Because he had somebody else, is another store in the area that was trying to get him. And so we were pinned against each other. And I was like, what is it? Like, you need to work here. And he said that's why he came to work for us, because I was willing to fight so much more.
Yeah, I got to build your team.
It was just people, more, we are just more, we're not the place that sits there and goes, you need to be cleaning 24, you know, like if it's quiet, talk amongst yourselves, build that team rapport, use that time, you know, like I'm not micromanaging at all behind people. So, and I think that's important to do because our teams do bust their ass so often and we got to give them that slight reward too. Like if you've already cleaned the store, don't just act like you're cleaning to like that. I'm then buying more cleaning product and I don't need to.
But I can imagine like after 7 years, you've solved a lot of the problems because like things just come up and then you just problem solve. You're like, okay, we'll fix this. Yeah. We'll fix that. I mean, that's such a long time and you've probably seen it all. Like is there anything new or something coming or something that you're still like excited about after maintaining for such a long time? Yeah.
I'm serious. I mean, ultimately in Dixon, I am trying to if there is some change to happen in Dixon when it comes to cannabis, it's on my shoulders. That I've recognized very recently. So if we want to have on-site consumption or something like that, it's not going to happen in the next 5 years that I know. Could it happen in 10? I think so.
Yeah.
Like we really are changing how Dixon has thought of cannabis as a whole. And so that is in my head, but Pocket may be my guinea pig of the situation, like where we try things and we figure things out. And because I think I could do, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Dixon out there. There's roost dollars, and right? If I could have the roost dollars of weed out in the country like that, that's like the ultimate dream.
Especially because Dixon's like where it's located. I mean, you could be right near you're basically like a cattleman's again, where it's like right off the freeway, boom, people from everywhere going to Sacramento, the Bay Area.
Thoroughfare.
Oh, yeah.
But it's meant to be a turnoff. Like, I'm going to go here and hang out.
I think it has some of the best, like, landscape views for you out in that area to enjoy like that.
I've never been there.
Really?
Oh, I'll have to take you
I'm not an alcohol person. I don't.
No,
well,
you
it's
should
just,
go see this property.
Yeah.
You would be amazed with it. And, like, hearing his story, talking with him, how he got it going. So I think I can do it. It's probably just, like, 5 to 10 years down the road. And I, like, want to help Mindy get this on-site lounge going as well.
And I want to continue that conversation. We just need to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back, everybody. All right. We're going to take a quick moment to shout out our amazing sponsors who help us keep the show rolling. Big thank you to Delta Boys Dispensary and Smoking Lounge, located at 66 Main Street, Ileton, California. And the Pocket Dispensary, holding it down at 1195 Florin Road, Sacramento, California. Both spots are open 7 days a week, serving up the top tier products, unbeatable prices, and that next level customer service. Plus, you're always going to see those friendly faces that always make you feel right at home. Now let's get back to the show. Okay, and thank you guys for that break. So, I don't know why I always do it like that, but that's just how we do it. So we were talking about your excitement for the Pocket. So you're a partner in the Pocket that Mindy's also the owner of and partner of, right? If I'm getting this correct, owner operator, and then you're a partner in it. And so that is kind of exciting. So so you obviously benefit off of all of that. And then is that like really made this more of a career for you than just having the store?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's made it to where it's like a more permanent career. I feel like it would be very hard for me to leave cannabis in any way.
Well, you're owner in a few different dispensaries.
Oh, we didn't know you were a boss bitch like that. she's like, I've got a couple keys.
We're gonna brag really quick because it's important. Because there is a lot of people, and like Haley was saying, we do well, and that's because we really commit to what we're doing, and we do so much hard work, and like our brains fucking hurt from the shit that we have to deal with every day.
Literally.
But it's what makes us successful. And not everybody can say that right now. And I am really happy, and proud to say that, we're running our businesses correctly to where we're doing the right thing and it's paying off.
Yeah. And I mean, like Dixon being 7 years, we've had people approach us for purchasing and whatnot. I have no intentions of doing that. I say it's my third baby. Like, that store is my child. And I also, Dixon kind of chose me, like, in a weird way. So I feel like I will be in Dixon for the foreseeable future, regardless of, where cannabis goes and whatnot.
Yeah, that's your home now.
That's my home now. But so we did, with Dixon's success, we were able to invest in other items. And I was like, why not invest in the people I know? And so we were able to invest in a store in Tracy, and we were part owner there. And then I was able to invest with Mindy. And then the newest one that we did is Woodland also. But
cool.
It's important to know, like, I invest in them and I help and advise as much. Like, I'm always there for a phone call. You need me to show up. I'm there opening day. I will make sure, through construction, which is often the hard part, and getting it open can be very difficult. But I'm always there for them with whatever they need. But by no means am I running each of these stores. I want that to be very clear. Yeah. So we had Tracy and then Woodland, and we kind of supported the incubator part of it too, where I have an employee who worked with me, Brandy, and she's now the buyer over at Woodland.
Oh, okay.
And so we get different options like that. And I think what Kim did in passing, I was gifted that, right, of her taking a chance on me to run Dixon. And also Deanna. Deanna did not know me. I met her, we smoked a joint, and she handed me a check for like $200,000 to go and start Dixon.
Wow.
Like, and her husband was the one that actually was like, You sure you got this? And I was like, oh, I got this. And I did. I really did believe like,
Yeah, I got to bring that confidence.
Yeah.
Like, step up to the
especially after
plate.
we moved the location and got through that CUP issue, I was like, we are going to get Dixon. It's going to be a success. And also people telling me I'd be the small medical dispensary, that also drove me. If you challenge me, you're going to get a whole different Haley. So it's, I'm best under pressure.
Yeah, and opening a dispensary is a really hard thing. So dispensary licenses are extremely competitive. They don't open up. Most cities are closed.
Yeah.
The only way that you can get it is when they first come online. They're like, we're opening the doors to 10 stores, and then you got to get in and spend a shit ton of money in order to go through this process where you're like praying that you're going to win your application, because not everybody wins.
As long as cannabis still is taboo or people have restrictions because of work, I don't think we can actually have a proper free market like everybody wants.
I agree.
think there has to be some control because our customer basis is kind of controlled.
Yeah.
And it is still a federally controlled substance. So
Correct.
there's that. So, I think until that happens, it's a hard balance because I do want to support having cities be able to open 10 stores. I think that that's great. But we learned from Oregon and Washington what that can do to your market. And we have to learn from like what's happening around us too.
Well, what's going to happen is that every city needs to be free market. Every city and county needs to be free market, because if one city is free market, like limited, then everybody from all these other places are going to come and populate that one city. And guess who wins? The people with the most money, and the people who have been in that space doing everything get shit out of luck, pushed to the side, because these people come in with all the money, think that like I can do whatever I want, because that's usually what happens. So when people have a lot of money, they're able to do exactly what they want.
I mean, think about it. Trailblazer tax, and then you had the green rush, right? So like everybody came in, and all of these different huge corporations, huge names were coming in, and then they couldn't still succeed, because this is why I say our market's not there yet. Like until it's totally can be alcohol-ish, right, where people can utilize it and not lose their job over it, I think our customer basis is limited, and it makes it really difficult for us. Because I mean, I have tons of people every day call us, well, does yours, if I test, am I going to be popped on the test? And absolutely. And hemp is not helping that situation for us either right now. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad to see that become, like, even though I don't want anything to be illegal when it comes to cannabis, but in a way, with the current market space that we're in, it has to be illegal to be sold in states that have a legal market, because it is very unfair and very misinformative, very confusing for the customer, because you're right. Like, I've had a lot of those calls myself where it's like, no. Like, we sell the real stuff here. They're like, not the hemp stuff. I'm like, no, it's the real deal. Like, it's tested and everything, so I'm kind of happy to see that be a little bit regulated, as well as the fact that like, just the cost to start that kind of a company versus like you guys were saying, like opening a store is not opening a head shop where you're just going to put some display cases in there and get a little dinky register and open up shop.
No, you're going to have to send multiple building prints in that have had multiple revisions for thousands of dollars on each revision. And I mean, that's just a small start. That's just to get it to where you can start construction. Yeah. It's crazy how expensive it is. The fact that we started Dixon on, I think it ended up being $225,000 is like unheard of. That is getting through all legal fees, all city fees, and construction fees in opening that store. It was insane.
Yeah, that was a really good.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
It's only 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But it seems like, honestly, when you talk about it, it's like 20 years ago. So with just how California's been.
Yeah, well, people knew that they can get money from it. So now you have all these different people reaching in, be like, oh, you need this, you need this, you need this. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad to see a lot of the licenses kind of fold up shop. Not that I'm happy to see somebody fail, but in a way I like it because it's going to eliminate those players that really shouldn't be here, that aren't, not qualified. They don't work in it. They don't love it. They haven't sacrificed. They're not doing it to be here long term. They're here to quick capitalize, sell a product, sell a brand, make some money, and get out,
This is where, and this could be the cannabis hippie in me. This is where like the karma part of life, I believe, happens.
The balance.
Like we are all, at least the smaller operators like us in this room, we are all trying to help patients, and that's still what drives us every single day. If I feel down about my business, I go and work behind the sales counter because like just yesterday, that's what I was doing. I was working there and helped a woman who's trying to help her mom who's dying from cancer. Like, you know, and then you have this whole moment with somebody and they're in tears and, you know, it's this whole thing. But like, that's the reason I got into this business. That's the reason I started helping people, is because it's like, you actually do help people every single day.
You
like,
do.
So, you know, whenever you're sad, just go work and hear a customer's story and then you're good.
That's
I promise
true.
it will refuel
Yeah.
you.
It is super true.
Give you a purpose.
100. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, and that is something that corporate. I don't know why this is
Because we're talking.
No, I rolled it. It feels a little loose too. So I don't know why it's acting like that. But anyways, I think that a lot of those people don't understand that. I mean, you know, I'm a really baby store to both of you guys. Like, we're in a town that has less than 1,000 people populated. So most of my business comes from people either passing by, right, tourism, or people who just come to us because we do offer a different kind of environment than a lot of the Stockton or Sac stores where it's just loud music, in and out culture. It's like, and we usually don't have a wait here, and we carry all the normal brands anyways. Exactly. So it's like, it's like I draw a good amount of people, but, Jesus, I've lost my train of thought here.
That was a good joint.
I'm like, whoa! Like,
it was doing that to me too. So I'm like, what was your question?
Yeah,
Let's come back to it.
Yeah, exactly. But we are smoking real stuff on the show, folks.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely not.
This is not no trick weed.
It's definitely not the hemp.
Yeah. The podcast always changes halfway through. Like, the more high you get.
They're like, did they dab on that? No, we did not.
No. But we helping those customers like on the day to day and like being that important thing is very rewarding. And I think a lot of those big corporation stores, they don't have that love for it. And it shows when I have customers that come in to me and they say, "Oh, you sell capsules here?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, and you sell CAD cream here and you sell RSO. Do you always have this stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "I can't find it anywhere." Yeah. And I'm like, "That's weird. Like, this is like literally a fundamental part of cannabis is to offer these higher dose,
people
better
don't want
price.
to use their shelf space to hold on to it.
And it's just so weird to me because like I have customers, like I'm sure you have customers that are like, "Can I buy the whole case for the month?"
Yes.
You know, and you're like, "Oh, we got to stock up for Sally because you know she's going to come buy her ABX case or
That's
so
my
and so."
favorite customer.
Oh,
the
it
one
is my
that comes
favorite.
in with a shopping list, and I'm like, "I got you, girl.
Yeah,
what you need?"
on my.
I'm like, "You wait there. I'm just going to run back and forth."
Or they're like, "Repeat from last week." I'm like, "Even better. Let's go." Like, I love, and this is what we do see often, not just the one that we get, the ones that are like, "What's good?"
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. And I tell people we're for everybody, but our niche is like, if you want that experience, you want to learn.
Yeah.
Like, we were telling 20-year-old about terpenes yesterday. Never has been spoken to about terpenes, been going since he turned 18, never has been talked to about this, first time to us. And I'm sometimes at this point, this is what's been funny about 7 years. I'm like, how do you not know about us? Where are you from? They're like, Dixon. Where do you live? How do you not know I'm here? That's what I'm like focusing on wanting to change. But some of it I'm regulated that I can't, right? Like, people come in, they think we're a spa, like a wellness spa.
It has that vibe. I've seen the sign. Yeah,
It does.
Yeah. I do like that you're next to a laundromat, though.
It's
I'm
the
like,
best.
that's
It's the absolute
like
best.
The prime. I was like, man, throwing a load of wash and
All day long.
just pop over,
It's
get a
actually
doobie.
an issue we have to deal with often.
Oh, you're
they
probably
can't
like, go
smoke out in the parking lot. So we're like, you gotta leave here. You know, like, it's honestly one of the biggest things. Now we got it, like, because they have regulars too. So it's all, you know, but and believe it or not, that's our landlord's business.
Oh, perfect.
But it's the perfect cover. People don't complain about smelling weed ever. They open our door and go, "Oh, there it is." But when you're outside, you're smelling Fabuloso and laundry.
Oh, true. How
Like,
funny.
that's all you got. So it's like, we have comfy furniture, us, and then a laundromat. It's really kind of a funny thing.
It really is. Yeah. No, but it does. The sign does give you spa vibes. But I think that's also like a very welcoming thing too. You know, it's
what
soft.
was requested of me at the time.
Oh,
you know, like,
okay.
it wasn't. Our original name was Mayfair Wellness because of the Mayfair.
Okay.
That was denied. They were like, "We highly recommend that you do not do that." I was like, "Okay." So then it became Dixon Wellness, and I had to have that cleared before they even did that. But you'll see we kind of have two names. We're Dixon Wellness Collective, but we're also Dixon Wellness Cannabis Collective. And it's because When I can use cannabis in advertising depends on where I am and where it is. If it's in Dixon, I can't. So I have like crazy regulations like that I have to follow.
They don't let you put up like any kind of signage
No, I'm only allowed to have what's approved on my building. And if I change that, I have to get it approved before I do it.
And no signs. You don't even have open signs, do you? Do you have open signs?
I do have one open sign, but it can't be green.
Oh.
Can't be neon green, and it
Wow.
can't. It's very spelled out.
It is very. That's
my
very
tower
tight.
sign was not. So the
yeah.
tower sign in the parking lot that was not part of the original discussion, and I had to have like a full blown approval conversation to have that. Because they're like, well, we don't know if we want is the visibility from a street. Because they just assume if people see cannabis or weed that they're going to come and rob you. And it was like, guys, yes, it is a possibility. But how we do things, like we do it safe. We're trying to keep ourselves safe too. And we've been doing it since 2005.
We know what we're doing.
And we have lived through robberies.
Yeah.
Like we've gone through this. We know what to do. I know when somebody's shopping us. Like, you just be careful with it.
Yeah, you do. They have They have a lot of weird questions, and they like look around really weirdly, and you're like, "What's up, man?" And they're, "Oh, nothing." You're like, "Okay."
They don't like our store because it's so controlled. You come in, you're greeted. You don't go through till we allow you to go through, and then once you're in there, you're still in a controlled environment. You can't even get out of that room unless we buzz you out.
Yeah.
So I think that makes people a little uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, you're going to get stuck.
I love it when I put like something on the counter and somebody like touches it. They go, "Oh, I don't want you to think I'm going to steal it." I'm like, I would love for you to try.
Yeah.
Like you try to get through that fucking 10-pound magnetic door, and my guard's going to move so fucking fast. And he's bored. He's waiting for people like you. So please give him something to use that taser on.
That is such an issue with security. That is often. It's like they are always ready to go, and you're like, look, 99.9% of the time, you're not going to need to go. I'm going to need you to de-escalate. But that 0.1 time that I need you to go is your whole job.
Yeah, that is. It is.
Like,
Yeah.
your
To
whole
be
moment is
prepared
going to be
and ready.
decided right there.
Yeah, exactly. Your worth. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I've had a couple guards that I'm sure you have too, where it's just like you have to like sit them down and be like, "Look, you need to bring it down. Like, I know you want to be authority. I know you take your job serious, and I appreciate that. But like, we need to. They're nice people.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I had a guy. He was a great guard. He was great, but he was bored. He was used to working at like a nightclub in Oakland.
Oh boy, yeah, to come to your place.
And I was like, so you're not ever going to get threatened to get shot here, pretty much. Like, and this was a nightly occurrence for this kid. It was a hard change. He just was too bored, and I got, so he's like, I gotta go work somewhere else. I was like, you good?
Go chase down some people, do whatever you want.
Because it was like, no, we're not going to tackle the old man because he's smoking a cart in the parking lot. We are going to go and talk to him and tell him he's no longer allowed to do that. And if he does it again, he will no longer be allowed to shop here. That's it. That's all you have to do, guys.
Do you guys get the people that want to open stuff right there at the counter? Do you ever get the people that try to open things like right when you hand them to them, they like start opening the bag and trying to get open things?
Yes, but honestly, that I blame. I put a lot of blame and force onto staff with that like you're always supposed to be in control of the product. We have display samples and stuff, so that's supposed to be brought with it and kind of as the deterrent, and otherwise you're in control of the product.
Okay, smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah,
as much as we can. Like if we're
people-
showing something to you, they usually have like their hand underneath it. And
okay.
I mean, if you're like, somebody's gonna come to me for 7 years.
Yeah.
There's some people they're a little more loose with, but you're also not. Yeah, you're
Read
not
the
getting
room.
out of that
Read the
door.
room. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah.
Also, the bags, like I train people to look out for like not smushing the bag. Like if somebody's gonna like,
Ounce.
Oh boy,
They love to do that
don't
with
smush
the
my
ounces.
ducks. No.
I am number one. I'll hand it to him, and as soon as I see him do that one, I'll go, "Excuse me, can you please not smash the buds?" Other people have to buy that bag, and then they go, "Oh well, and I'm like, I understand what you're doing, but that's. Do you do that with every tomato you touch? Just honk, honk, honk. Just
I had a
squeezing
guy.
the
He was
shit
like,
out of
"Which
them."
one's not gonna crumble on me?" As he's going like this, and I'm like, and I'm holding it, right? I'm holding it with him, so I'm kind of like
fighting him with
that's
the bag.
the dynamic, right? Like it's so.
They're like, "Give it." You're like, "No."
We could talk hours about customers. I mean, it's just the most entertaining. Like, there's not a day I'm in there that I don't laugh.
It's like bartending. You have these characters.
You have to find the humor. There's people who don't find the humor. And I'm like, I don't know why you work in customer service if you don't find the humor. Even when I'm out in the world, I'm watching people.
Me too.
Like that's all I do because I'm like, this person's. It's my own cartoon. Like people are hysterical.
They are. They
do the craziest shit.
And you do, I mean, like, you get to know people too, like the same people come in, you know, your regulars. And it's like you do build, because that's how it was from the beginning. Like, you build this relationship with somebody because you're knowing these deep, intimate things about their lives. It's not just a transaction. It's, you know, more of a deeper dive into like, hey, what's going to work for you? So we got to go down this rabbit hole.
No, we have had customers where they used to tell me about their teenagers, and now their teenagers are, you know, over 18, have a med rec, and they're shopping with us, you know? So it's like, that part's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. And I've even had conversations with people that they're like, oh, well, they're about to be 21. Maybe they can work for you. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, I don't, you know, I'm not even 40. Like, how is this possible? Life is just so crazy how fast it goes by.
It does. It keeps moving. I feel like when we were all younger, like, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but like when I was younger, it was like, oh, a year took forever to get by. But as I've gotten older, it's like, I mean, we've already made it to June. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, July 4th is next weekend? What? Like,
I know.
You know, but maybe that's also because of the world we work in. I think cannabis, like if you're really committed to it, it's like a hyper focus. Like everything is.
It's when you have to pay your excise tax and your sales use tax and your city tax. And I think it's just business owners in general. Like life goes so fast because you are always on a calendar.
I guess that's what it is.
It's constant calendar. Like, and you're always planned, 3-6 months ahead, depending on what you're working on.
What you're doing, for sure.
So I think that's part of it too, is you just always have to be in the future, and it just passes you by sometimes. So
because you have to have the vision. You're like, okay, I'm here, but I'm there. That's why, like, times and like years and amount of years, like, it doesn't come to me as easy, but it's because like there's a lot going on in there.
Well, the more you're doing, like the more you take on, like it takes a portion of you. And that's what I've learned the past couple years with doing the other businesses and helping them out, was like, now this year it's like I need to give all my effort back to Dixon and like making sure we're doing well and making sure staff's happy. That's why I'm literally scheduling me on the floor at least 2 times a week now, just to get back into it. And, you know, kind of hitting a reset button, if you will, like having staff and everything. Sometimes there's a reset button that needs to be hit and people need to refocus. And we used to be so very, very strict because we were so busy. And now that we're not as busy, I'm like, you guys need to loosen the reins and take time and patience with each person. Like, that's your focus now, which is hard to unteach some of that, you know? If somebody does happen to light a joint in the parking lot, we don't immediately ban them. Like, you need to go and have these conversations and explain it to them, which was always the policy. I don't know when it got so strict. So things like that, you know, and just having compassion. Like, we had a lady the other day, and she was an ex-heroin addict, and they had some issues in the store with it. And it's like, but that's why we're here. We're here to help these people who have gone through really hard times.
It's true, too, because it's about the culture, like the culture of your business. And you are a big part of what creates that culture. So it makes sense. It's like, okay, it's getting people to know how to move and like the things to say, because you want it to have that same vibe, that same culture of your company and what you want to come across, and not a constant thing, because it's not, you know, naturally what a lot of people do, but it's like, okay, this is what the job is. So like,
absolutely,
this is what I'm doing. Like, this is how I'm going to present myself.
Well, and a lot of staff, what they want, they just want to do what you would want them to do. Right. So often my biggest thing is my phone is always on, and I always will. Well, I try to answer it as best as I can, but text me, call me. I don't care if it's after the fact and you need it on retrospect. Like, whatever we need to do to like make you feel better about that situation and more comfortable. Like, some of our employee trainings, what we do is like, I want you to go pick the product you're most uncomfortable selling right now and bring that forward. And like having that open forum to have them talk to each other, because look, I'm the first one to say it. I'm not a dabber. My lungs can't handle it. Okay. I want to be the cool dabber weed head girl, but I'm just not as much as I want to. So when customers come in, and we got some soup, because we have some dabbing culture in our store. So like I said, the live rosins and stuff are all kept in the fridge. All of it is very, very temperature controlled. Staff does very well with that. But I am not that best for the customer. So if I have somebody next to me who is, and they know it better than I do, I'm the first one to say, hey, you come here, come help me do this real quick. Or what did you smoke last night? What was your, like trying to figure that out. Because our rule in the store is if you don't know, don't act like you do.
Yeah.
If you don't know the right answer, you need to ask somebody for help or let them know. If all of us happen to not know the right answer, which I find that hard to believe in our store, but if that happens, get their name and number, we will figure it out and we will tell them. But like that comes from the culture of ATA. That's what we were taught at ATA, and I just brought that over there too.
Yeah.
Don't let your ego get in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's also really important that a lot of people don't realize is that as an owner, you still have to be very much like in tune with your staff and your customers. And the only way to do that is to be on the floor.
I think if you are removed from it, negative things can happen to your store.
So easy.
And very quickly. If your staff does not respect you, shit will go wrong.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. Probably, unfortunately, in my youth was a part of it. If I look back at like my,
behaviors. Yeah.
I worked at a yogurt shop. Do you know how much yogurt we gave out? I was 15 years old. Oh, you're cute. Here, you're gonna make yours extra tall. You want sprinkles. It's like that's what happens, and that can happen with weed too.
Of course.
You want an extra demo product? Here you go.
Yeah.
But I mean, that wouldn't even be that bad, right? It's like not ringing somebody up and throwing a joint in their bag. That would be bad kind of stuff. So, I think that's what's important of having that relationship and building your team in that fact. And this is again why I keep a small team. I'd rather if you have to call out, no problem. I'm going to go and cover it. And I respect that fact too. Like I understand retail and how much it can bog down on people doing that day in and day out. If you are not of the mental sanity to come into your job correctly,
can't be
stay
there.
home.
Yeah.
Don't bring it into work.
Yeah.
So we really practice that as best as we can. But it's also a mutual respect for everybody because they know if they call out, somebody else or myself is having to work extra hours. So it kind of keeps everybody as best as we can. I think we're in a really good place right now with Dixon for that. So it's been really good.
Wow. Yeah. What's your longest standing bud tender that you have at the store right now?
My husband. No. Let me think about this. It's probably Nana, and she is probably 6 years, and then it's Phil after that, and he's 5. So I mean, like I'm not.
Wow. Sometimes
I have to kick people out. Like, no, you need to go move on. But like Brandy was with us for 4 years, so we don't have a high turnover rate at all. We had to do that, like when people look at you for acquisition and stuff, like these are some of the numbers you have to give. And out of all the stores, we were like one of the highest ones with highest retention rate. And it's just because
incredible.
It was the timing of it though too. Like how much we had grown was crazy, and people really liked the growth and how busy you were. Like it wasn't, not everybody was extremely busy during COVID. Some stores really, really struggled, and we thrived in it. So it was just really bizarre. But I definitely lost some people during that time. That was the hardest time to keep our retention rate up because it was COVID. Like there was just a lot of
uncertainty.
Yeah,
a lot of dynamics going on.
Yeah, because they didn't want to work at that time. They were
Some
scared,
people were really scared, and they just couldn't. To think that you were working with potential COVID people every day. But then also there was a lot of research with like cannabis and COVID too that, was interesting. So we were like, we had a joke. We said, it's not the cough, it's what did we say? It's not the COVID, it's the chronic. Because coughing.
I know. I know that was like such a thing for a while. It was like, if you're with people, like they start coughing, you're like, are you coughing because of the weed, or are you potentially sick?
Just me.
It's just me. Yeah, for sure.
So funny. But we're really lucky with our staff in Dixon, and we're hands-on though. And I think that that's just key. Like what you give to your store is what you get back. And so just giving as much as you can and being there with them. And when you're in it, you have ideas. When you're talking with people, you get ideas of what to do next. And so I think just staying busy in that fashion. I mean, I get a lot of business ideas from people who are not in the industry. Like that's a big thing I've learned through being in the chamber and whatnot. I get a lot of stuff from just talking with people in the networking that are not even cannabis related.
Would you do any other investing, or do you have plans to invest in any other places or markets?
honestly, right now, some of them we're not getting a lot of return on. Like, everybody's struggling, and we're all just trying to get through. And we have July 1 coming our way, which is, again, not terrible, but I do worry about customers coming in tomorrow. Got to change it at midnight tonight. So, I don't know I think if I do any more investing, it will truly be in a business that is just with me, is kind of what I'm wanting to do. Like I said, I have a different background. So restaurants, I knew I'd always own a business. I just thought I was going to be a restaurant owner. It just happened to be cannabis. But, and they're very similar, honestly. So I think I'll be more going into that realm. And I think in Dixon specifically, it's growing so fast right now. They're building more and more homes all the time. Our population is growing so rapidly. So I think like having something there, not too sure what it is yet, but I think I'll be investing more in like Dixon, if you would.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
Different places, and you're already such a big member of the community, so people will know it and they'll support and go, because you just need to create somewhere great that people want to go to and like.
Yeah, I have like a fine dance I'm doing right now with the city of Dixon because like I've applied to be a planning commissioner multiple times.
Wow.
Just really like to stir the pot sometimes. But I've applied to be the planning commissioner a couple of times. I think for, conflict of interest reasons, if you will. They may not choose me because you're chosen. It's not like an election thing, appointed. But I had a council member, and he's retired now, but he called me the other day. We were talking about other things, and he's like, I think you should run for council. And he's like, your district is up in 2 years. You should get ready for that. And I was like, no. I called Richard, and he's like, no. I'm like, I know. I don't know if I can do it. I've even talked to Cody Bass about it because I always go back to DC for the NCIA lobbying day.
Yep.
And he's one of the big people, part of NCIA. He's like one of the longest standing members. And he is the mayor of South Lake Tahoe. And so I've asked him about that. And like, what was because he, started as council, he moved his way up. And I've asked him, like, what are your thoughts on this? And, like, did it affect your business? Because that's my biggest concern. It's not being that person. Like, I think with what I've learned through cannabis about politics and especially small town and how things are, I do have something to give. Like, I think I would ask some really good questions of new businesses coming in because honestly, what's put onto cannabis businesses and like what they ask of us, why isn't that put on every single business, especially big business that comes in? Like, if you have a huge trucking company that just came into Dixon, why don't you have some type of community benefit fee that you have to give back on? And then will they say, well, it's sales use tax, but not all companies' sales use tax come back to the place of where they operate. So I think through that, and then just worrying about like if my business would be affected from like if customers would stop coming because of my political views, like I would worry about that stuff too. And you kind of have to be public with what you support or don't support. So I don't know, that part is a little terrifying sometimes. Like if I happen to not support the business they wanted me to, you know?
When people don't get their way,
some
people can make up stories, roast, find any little thing to twist something on.
You are fully in the public eye at that point, and I've already had a little taste of Dixon's public eye, and it's intimidating. Just being chair of the Chamber of Commerce, like that was a whole year of multiple phone calls from people around town about things that maybe I don't find as important, but I have to find them very important in that phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Down to the type of flowers we had at an event. These are things you would be yelled at for. So, it's like those are the things that keep me from not doing it, even though like I am raising 2 little girls. I want them to know you can do anything you want. Like, I don't have a college degree, and I have, in my opinion, conquered the shit out of life right now. I think with hard work and dedication, you literally can do anything you want. You just have to not let the naysayers get into your head. You have to just keep focused, number one, and don't give up. You know how many times I wanted to give up? Like, come on. It has been a roller coaster of emotions. And there are days you break and you are like, I need to go to a dark room and cry it out right now. But then, you come out and you're stronger for it later.
Yeah, every day is different. That's why I try to remind myself, like, okay, I'm feeling like this, but I'm only feeling like this today.
Yep.
And this day will never be the same. And tomorrow will be different.
But I think you have to have a sounding board. So like, you know, I tell you, I'm like, call me all the time. Like if you need to vent, because you just have to be able to vent. You have to be able to talk it out and maybe scream it out. And like between, you know, my circle of people that I have around me and being able to do that, being able to call Kim and say, what the freaking, you know, like, and just losing your shit about what you're going through, it's necessary. And if you don't have that support system, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Really, really hard to get through things.
How do you think people can find those support systems, like if they're wanting to do that?
I think it can be people that are already in your circle, just that they have to hear you. I was very fortunate. Like my best girlfriend is in the industry. She's Ashley, who got me into this industry as well. So her and I, constant. We
Ashley
email
who?
threads. Ashley, she's over at Davis Cannabis Collective.
Okay.
She owns and operates that one. She started at ATA with us, or she was like the first at ATA. She brought me in, and her husband and my husband were our weed dealers in high school.
Cute.
We're a weird niche of people that somehow
cute.
have never left each other.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good support system to have. So like literally like I talk to her even more than sisters sometimes. So being able to talk to her, have that sounding board, and she's in the same industry is just like a golden goose egg. But I think you can get that through like your own friendship and whatnot. Just knowing that you have to have that open communication, and sometimes it's better if they don't necessarily know, because you can just really go off about it. Like, you know, if I'm saying an employee name, but I shouldn't be sharing, you know, so like just being able to have some sounding board to just bounce ideas off of. I think it's within your girlfriends, and you just got to find it. And I'm also lucky with my husband that he's been in the industry. So there's things that like I'm usually like the regulator, like I'll teach him that stuff. But when it comes to like herb and the science of cannabis, like he's taught me that. So yeah.
Very cool.
He's a weed nerd for sure.
Me too. I love it.
You would talk all day long about that. I wouldn't even, if he was in this room, you and I would not be talking, because that is his thing. He is a talker. He will talk all day. Like,
I think I
get frustrated working
like
with him in the sales room.
Yeah. I always ask customers sometimes, because I can like overload on people when I'm helping people, and I'll be like, do you want the quick answer, or do you want like the detailed question? Because we could go deep.
I'm going to tell him to start saying that. Yeah, he doesn't give people a choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He just goes right into it.
I can feel it off of people when I'm like talking too much, and I'm like, they are getting annoyed. I gotta shut up and get these people what they need. Like, you know, because I want them to return. I don't want them to think that every interaction that they come into, because some people don't want to be talked to. Like they literally want to come in. They kind of know what they want, and they want to get out. And you're over here like, well, but this, and they're like, lady, we get it. You're excited, but I would like to go.
And I'm sensitive to, like, I think because I've been doing it for so long, of people's body language.
Me too, yeah.
And so I can see when their eyes are just like, okay, stop talking. And he does not. So I will often go and save the patient and be like, hey, nice to see you, Sally. Have a good day. You know, like I have
just to break it up for him.
Yeah, but it's so funny because staff will never do that, right? They would never do that to him, and so they just are like, Haley Richard's on the floor still. I'm like, it's okay, just let it ride. It's fine.
Yeah.
But people, they love him. He wins. You know, he is like the ultimate bud tender. Yeah. It's really interesting. Even when I think they're not vibing, they are vibing, and like. You know, he helps, like I said, there was a kid yesterday that came in for a cartridge and barely knew, like this 20-year-old barely knew what he was looking for. And he ends up staying for 45 minutes and was taught so much. Like, he's like, thank you, you know? And then he was able, like,
that's a consultation.
That's what it used to be, though. We used to just sit there and shoot the shit with you about weed. And
I loved bud tending next to Richard. Like, he kept it fun.
It is fun.
Behind the counter, because we used to side by side bud tend at ATA.
That's so
People
fun.
are used to, like, such a seriousness now that, like, they almost get shocked by him, like a little rattled, because he'll be like tossing jars in the air and just having a good time, and people just they're like, oh, you're allowed to have fun? Yes, we sell weed. Like, yes, we're allowed to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, go in, I'm dancing, you know, and it's like this younger generation, they just don't know how to let loose sometimes. Like our holiday party, it is me and Richard, and we are just
having
nuts.
a ball.
And they're all like, this past year, Nintendo 64, right? He has one of those stupid things, and so he sets it up. That was the hit. That's all I had to provide for the last 7 years. Do you know how many holiday parties? And I have tried to plan like some wonderful parties. No, just weed and Nintendo 64 was all that was needed.
Yeah, because if you take us somewhere else, then we can't smoke the weed, and then we're like all outside.
Oh no, I find places where we can smoke weed.
Okay. There
That
you
is
go.
always. It might be outside the restaurant,
but always a place.
If all of us are out there, they'll come find us. Don't worry. But I mean, that's my restaurant side too. Like, I know what time to book us so that, and then let them know, like, hey, we're these people, and they're like, no problem, and it's fine. Well, especially cool. In Sac.
Yeah.
You know?
I think Sacramento does have a lot of like venues like that. Like your birthday, I guess that is an event place, but it's like right downtown where it's like, I was like, oh, these people are gonna let people smoke here? That's crazy. Okay, cool. No. So there is more.
Sac restaurant workers do not give a shit right now. I guarantee you. Like that has been a hard industry. World right now. Yeah, especially in downtown. So
yeah, it's interesting. There is a lot of places that are very smoke friendly. You know, and that like I like keep it for as long as we can, but it's so neat to be able to just hang out. It's not separated. It's not some crazy thing. It's just like, I brought my own shit. I don't need nothing. Like, I just want to I have a place to smoke my own stuff.
Yeah.
Anywhere. But I think it's going to get that way.
So what's your proudest moment for your career right now, or where you are in life? What's the thing that you're like, I am so freaking proud of myself for this?
No, I have a couple, to be honest with you. Like when I went into Dixon, because of Kim being my mentor, she really, like the first place we went to is the Chamber of Commerce when we got into Dixon, and just looking around, driving around, right? Just trying to see the vision. Went there, joined as a member. In that chamber, they told me, you will never get a weed store in Dixon. So got that 2 years later. Then, and they became my customers, those same two people. How you doing?
And you ended up running it. You're like, actually, I'm going to take over. And
then I took over the chamber. Yes, this is true. But before I even took over the chamber, we also won I won Ambassador of the Year.
Okay.
And then 2 years later, it was 2020. So no, it was Ambassador of the Year was 2019. 2020, we won Business of the Year.
Wow.
And it was because of how much taxes and stuff. And just not even that, we sponsor a lot.
Yeah.
We sponsor a lot in Dixon. And so through that, we were able to get Business of the Year. And then there's a Solano County Award, and this was my big one. Mm-hmm. Business of the Year was a dream, but I was like, that just would be really cool because it is a small town, you know, like as long as you're community involved, you'll eventually get it.
Yeah.
But it was big to me of the time frame that we got it, and that it was so quick from when we opened. But the big one was the Spirit of Solano. So Spirit of Solano is an award that they give out. Each chamber chooses one person each year to get it. When I've gone to this luncheon, it is the most inspiring stories from businesses in Solano County. And we're talking every single city. So Vallejo, Benicia, all of the Solano County. So there's been some amazing stories there. So that's the one that always moved me. And then when we got that was the big one for me. But I always say, you know, the world humbles me. I'm a Leo. I can get up there with my ego. I was given those awards during 2020, so I never got to give my speech. And it is something that really irks me because I had a whole speech planned about how we were like the first cannabis business to get Spirit of Solano. Like it was a really big deal to me. 2021, guess who gets Spirit of Solano? Rio Vista Farms. And I had to sit through the luncheon and hear them give their speech about being the first cannabis business.
Oh, no.
So I was like, you know, this is when I tell Rich. I'm like...
Let's just say they are not my favorite business group, we will say. And that comes from being their neighbor as well as... I still can't sell Connected or Alien Labs because of them. Not even that, but I did when I came back into the industry after taking a little break. I worked for them, and that was the most toxic, hellish working environment.
Sorry.
Oh, you don't have to be sorry. I'm glad that I got to know that about the industry because I was still in the medical 215 mind state where we're all a happy cannabis family. And that was my first taste of like corporate cannabis.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, this is scary. This is icky. Like I still to this day am just like baffled that that's even a part of it, but it very much is. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have to work in it every single day. And so, my heart kind of goes out to them, and I feel very blessed to be able to work on the side of it not being that way, because it makes me more appreciative of the stuff that we have.
Well, it became really prominent, that like toxic side, right? Like it almost took over. And I feel like
really did.
The small, like our small ones that are still standing strong, that are still medically supported, and there's a reason. It's because we've been doing this. We know how to run a business on a budget. Mm-hmm. If you want me to go out there and look so bougie, like, no, I'm not. Mindy knows this about me. I will not waste money. My store was white walls, and that was it for like 3 years. Okay. It just now is starting to be like, okay, maybe it's kind of cute. Like, I put the money back into my employees and back into our product, and that's what we do.
That's important.
So, and I think that that's what's helped us through all of these changes, because we were the only ones there. Then you have my competitor open in Dixon. You have 3 in Fairfield. There should be 4. Then Woodland.
Why do you say there should be 4?
Oh, Stizzy holds a license and does not open the store because they have Sassoon.
Weird.
Yeah, that one's a burn. I went for a license in Fairfield. I was really, really serious about it, and it was some bullshit that went down.
Yeah.
So.
Weed drama.
Yeah, weed drama. And Davis too, like Davis has it rough over there, and I think it's because they thought it was just going to be this big thing with all the students, but most students don't smoke weed.
No.
So, especially really international exchange students, they literally can't.
They can't. Yeah.
So,
I worked in Davis and lived in Davis, and I remember that being a thing when they opened up like a medical doctor the first time in Davis, and that was like everybody was freaking out about that. And it was the same thing. They had to close up shop because they weren't making enough money, because those types of people are not really people that are smoking weed.
No, the professors definitely.
It's not Santa Cruz. Now, if it was Santa Cruz University, that would be different.
Sure,
but
right.
The culture of UC Davis is very very uppity, science-based people that are more interested in solving.
I just think the younger generation is interesting too. Like, they're just not. They are not us. Like, all of us were smoking weed. It was very normal to be smoking weed. At least where I grew up, it was. Maybe it was the people I surrounded myself with. I'm not sure.
I agree.
But I was a late bloomer. Like, I didn't start smoking weed till 17. And, well, maybe that's not late to many, but it is in my world. Most of the people around me were smoking before that. So, like, in my friend group, I was the last one to try weed. Like, I was the very last one. So...
And now you're like the one like the most invested in it. I'm sure your friends laugh too. They're probably like,
my family laughs. If to be honest, with my family, so I was raised Mormon. Like, my family is super conservative. So like me coming out, but now they're like the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, it's amazing what we've done. Yes, but like. They know we're not selling snake oil. They know we help people every day. I think that really makes sense as to me as being their child. Like, they know I like to help people and be around people. They're glad I found my niche, and I'm glad I was able to be successful with it.
Yeah.
But definitely was a trip for them at first. Like, I hid it from them for 3 years that I was working at ATA.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long.
It was, oh God. We used to do these things called Tequila Saturdays, and we would be tasting tequila. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? And it came out somehow. Somebody just said it. They're like, "Yeah, we know you're working at a weed shop."
Oh wow!
Yeah,
like they could hold it in.
Like the mean cousin. I worked at State Farm, so I left State Farm, and I was working at Mulvaney's in downtown Sacramento, and I was doing that. But I also was working at ATA. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, we know you're working at a weed shop. And they were so against it. It was a huge thing. It was
I want to dive deeper into this. I need to take a quick break to change out a battery, and we'll be right here about how you grew up. So you mentioned you're a Mormon.
Yes.
So where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Elk Grove.
Okay.
Yeah. So not too far, still in, Sacramento Valley area, if you will. Grew up in Elk Grove my whole life. So from, I don't know, till 3 to 17 technically.
Are you an only child?
I'm not. I have 2 older sisters.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the baby of the family.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, I know.
Sisters are cruel.
They are cruel. So they are kind of Irish twins. So they're only
like
16 months apart, I think. They're very close in age. And then there's 4 years between me and the next. So we I'm a mix of the two is what I say. Like I think this is what makes me get along with so many different walks of life of people. It's just like the youngest child, you learn people's patterns. You're the observer. Like you just sit there and observe everything. And I observed how to not get in trouble with my parents. I observed like what people's, hot button pushes were, because my two sisters would fight all the time, but then they would gang up and pick on me. So I had to know how to like defend myself from two girls. I was not this baby who was like babied by the family at all. Of course, my sisters, I think, would say different, but like I have memories of both of them on top of me, like doing that and like the almost spitting in your face shit that like 90s kids did, like my sister went to soccer practice, but like chained me to the chair, her and her friend did, before they left. My mom hates that story. She just learned about that one. We were kind of tomboyish girls. We were all raised to play sports. I played softball my entire life. That's honestly where a lot of my injuries come from and why like cannabis helps me so much. So like, before I even got into the industry, like I knew cannabis helped. And so, we say we're more self-medicating, but we don't necessarily know why. I knew why. I was in pain.
What position did you play?
I was catcher and third base, if you can't tell from my frame. Like I've always been
I'm not judging nobody.
I have been a solid human from birth.
But catchers, I have a lot of friends that were softball catchers, and every one of them has some sort of
We played a different type of ball. Like, there was no rules. There's rules now, like you can't block the plate and, girls can't run into you. My heyday was I am meant to be a brick wall and you're not going to get through me, whether I have the ball in my hand or not.
I see.
Like it was football. It really was. And even at third base, I was taught to do the same stuff. My older sister is like much tinier. She's like 120, but she actually played for Cal Berkeley. Like she got a scholarship and played for Cal Berkeley. But she was an outfielder. I was taught a different softball. I was taught how to block the plate and how to move that I did, and this is why I have hip issues now. I'm pretty sure.
Just getting hit all the time.
I was just getting hit in this leg all day long. It was drop this leg and become a wall. Nobody gets through me, and that's what it was.
Yeah, you don't think about it when you're young, what you're doing and how it's going to affect your body later on.
But I watch softball now, and they like get fouls, or they call it a challenge or something.
They wear so much gear
and so much gear. I couldn't see through it. They introduced was the first, was like my junior year of high school, I think, is when they introduced the batting helmet one. I was like, hell no. My dad signed a waiver and I kept going as long as I could without that thing. Like,
but they have so much safety equipment now. It's insane. It is,
Like we didn't even have, how catchers wear the back of the knee pads?
Yes, yeah.
Those had just been introduced when I was like a senior. So it's like, no, knees are not too bad, to be honest, because I'm really solid frame on my legs and just have always been really strong in that area. But definitely some back issues, shoulder issues, been hit in the head a couple times with the ball, so there's some fun things there. Arthritis is kicking in, I think, from like my catcher's mitt. I still have like a splint here. There's something weird here from being hit by the ball so many times.
Wow.
But it is. That's why I have cannabis. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm great.
I know. It's so funny with cannabis. It's like you like you're just kind of like naturally know what to do, like to help yourself, where I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what to do. We're just like, oh, well, we're just gonna, take a little this and eat a little that and we'll be okay.
A lot of people medicate with booze, right? Like I have a lot of family members who medicate with booze, and it's like, that's fine, but it's so hard on your body. Like you just can't, even if you're not like an alcoholic, right? And you just have a couple glasses of wine a night, it still wears on your body more than you think. So that's why I like cannabis more. Don't get me wrong. I love my wine. I love my whiskey. I'm not anti-booze by any means, but like my everyday is cannabis for sure to help me get through my aches and pains.
What's your favorite way to consume?
Oh, joints.
Okay.
Blunts.
Okay. Do you roll them yourself?
No. Yes and no. I work at a dispensary. I own a dispensary. So there's some perks to that with the joints. I am the joint queen tester. When I go to Hollow Flowers, that's all I'm asking for. Every single time. I'm like, no, what joints do you got? Now nobody wants to give joints anymore, though. That's the problem. State, you took that away from us. But No, it's mostly smoking is what I do. I will take like remnants of dabs from Richard just to like try concentrates, but again, it's not my thing. Edibles for sure, like especially with my, minority cannabinoids, my CBDs, Gs, all of that. That is all internal and trying to get on.
What's your favorite gummy right now?
I will just eat whatever.
Oh,
honestly,
I like that too, yeah.
My favorite edible is RSO tabs from Emerald Bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
those
the
are my favorite. Yeah, because the CBD one, it's right there in my medicine cabinet. I take it every day. But when my back is out, those are my pride and joy. Like, I have to have those.
Yeah.
For
What
my
is
back
your
issues.
favorite pre-roll too? You're all queen.
Ah, shit, man.
Well, you run a dispensary, so you look at it all day.
Yeah, I am not in the infused world.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I love a hash joint situation. Do not get me wrong on that. I am not into the flavor bullshit.
Me neither. I can't.
So I don't even need to name the brands. We all know who it is. But those flavors, I'm not into that. Weed should taste like weed.
Yeah.
I like the taste of weed. I like tasting the different herbs. If my ultimate favorite though is like if Richard gets like a real nice eighth from like Cam or somebody, they have this Brain Dead right now that we just got in. That one's phenomenal. Willow Creek just actually did this Granddaddy Perp. Beautiful. Loved that.
Y'all need
But
to
if I
check
can
it
get
out.
him to roll me a blunt, that's my ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can roll a blunt. I know how to roll things. I'm just lazy with it.
Well, it's okay. You get to be the boss and get those privileges.
I say we should have put it in our vows that he has to roll me a blunt whenever I ask. I should have been smart. I didn't negotiate correctly. But no, he's pretty good with it. But yeah, otherwise, Fig Farms up north, love them. They're always solid with us. Lolo, I love. Their strains have just been more difficult lately. But Lolo, if I can get a nice, demo size thing of Lolo from them, that would be wonderful. Because they're a good joint. Trying to think of who else I've gone through lately.
Do you like beverages?
Love the beverages.
What's your favorite right now?
St. Ides new lychee pear one is so good. Have you guys tried it yet?
No, I haven't
No.
seen that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it like a 100 milligram one, or
It is
is
the
it
100
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drinks don't hit me the same.
No, they don't. They metabolize differently.
Yeah, because of how they, anyways. But yeah, it's not the same to me. I like it. I'll drink hi-fi hops all freaking day long. And I just honestly don't see much of an effect from it. But St. Ides, if I drink that can, I have an effect and it's a good time. Canned drinks, I actually like to use them as mixers. So,
Yeah, they're pretty tasty.
Their rosemary one is one of my favorites to do with a little shot of vodka.
It's not a very heavy high, the cans. I like
yeah.
to shotgun them for fun.
Hell yeah.
Because I don't drink alcohol anymore. It turned out to be bad for me, but I like to still.
See, I'd be shotgunning in like a Pabst.
Oh, yeah. I liked beer back in the day. I was like.
The Pabst, the cannabis drinks.
Yeah,
10
those
milligrams.
are okay, but the cans are super carbonated, like super
True,
duper carbonated.
true.
Where the Pabst are more like mildly,
They're like juicier.
They're more like a juice. Where the cans, I mean, it fucking goes,
Yeah.
and it's only 5 milligrams, so I can just have fun with it all day.
Now the Not Your Father's line is pretty phenomenal right now
It's
too. The
very
orange
heavy.
green one.
The
Yeah,
recovery
with the minor
one,
cannabinoids, I was impressed with them
Yeah,
with that and
yeah.
that in there. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that one's been nice. We love a root beer float in my family,
Yep.
so
It's a good root beer for
It is.
orange cream float.
That's
you could
what we were
do. Yeah.
maybe not at grilling and chilling, but we were having a good time with that, and it was good. We're like, oh, you have really nice ice cream, okay? So that was a good time. But yeah,
Yeah. Do you like tinctures? Do you do the tinctures?
I have them there. When I'm like really sick or like my back is completely out, Richard will literally force those on me. I'm not the best at like taking your medication when you need to. So like I'll just sit there and suffer. And he's like, I don't understand why you're suffering. Like, here you go. So the tinctures I have for that reason. But honestly, the flavor and it's the oil consistency really messes with me as far as like a texture thing for me.
I don't like the flavored ones, like the ones that have like a blueberry in them or
The
something.
only
I can't.
way you're getting it is because I think it's medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put
So if
it
it tastes like
yeah.
blueberry, that's not going to work for me.
So I get like a glass of water, and then I like fill it up, not that much, and then I put it in the glass of water, and then you just chug it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
a good way.
makes it because I don't put it under my tongue. I know it's like a different delivery method, and that's the way you do it, but I just like it like that,
weird,
and it works. Yeah,
It is a weird
Just like,
texture.
I should probably just get it. Like I've never fully gotten into it, is what I will say. Like it's not something I gravitate towards. Capsules, though, like that's from day one. There used to be, do you remember Caps that we sold at ATA?
Yeah.
The hummingbirds, the ladybugs. Do you remember that brand?
I used to shop there. Yeah, I've been in the industry a long time.
He was amazing. That, I wish I knew his name. Ashley would totally remember his name. It was like Ken or something. Most adorable human being you've ever met. And actually, when we started Dixon, because of the timing of Prop 64, we bought everything December 31st. I bought out tons of people, right? And then I had to sell that by July 1st of 2018. That's why we opened June 1st of 2018, because I told the city, I've already bought this product. I am screwed if you don't let us start selling this.
Wow.
So we got a 30-day thing. They let us open 30 days, and we sold out of so much product that I bought that was all clearanced out because everybody was getting rid of it.
Yeah.
So if the Caps in particular, literally bought that man every last bit that he had. I bought every item, and we sold it so cheap. We did like a clearance for like 2 weeks because we had so much product.
Yeah.
That's how we became so popular so fast. If I look back at it, that was a portion of it, because we needed to get rid of all this product or we were going to have to waste it.
Yeah.
So it was like, no, we're not asking you really. You're getting this $1 joint right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put 5 on your tab. Like, that's more of what was happening that final day.
I think, the promo items, I know it's a lot, the relationships with brands and dispensaries, but the promo items work so well because people are very hesitant to try something. They never tried it before, and they're going to spend a good amount of money on it. So those promo products really do, if you can get it in the hands of the customers and the employees, your stuff will fly.
Yeah, I had a guy ask me the other day, he buys $5 joints every day. You can tell he's a blue collar guy. Those dudes usually have money, but they don't like to spend it. They work hard for it. Yeah. So, I never really argue too much with him, but he'll come in and he asked me the other day, he goes, is there really something different in the top shelf stuff versus like the $5 stuff? I'm like, yeah, I think there is, know. And he came in a couple more times, still didn't buy. And finally I had a promo and I just grabbed it. I was like, here, try it. You tell me what you think, Yeah. And I love that because now not only did he get a brand in his hand for the first time of trying Top Shelf, which he's probably going to now be loyal to, but it's like I got to open up the doors for this customer that normally would have never been reserved.
Right.
So the brand promos definitely help everybody all over the place, especially if they're used right. I use them for customer benefit 100%.
Yeah, me too.
That's all we do.
Me
That's
keeping them or giving them to my staff, it's like that only helps so far,
Well, we have good, like I said, my buyers are really great, and they'll just say, no, like, you have to give my staff some. And then if you want to do a demo on top of that, having that conversation, which I know is really hard on brands right now.
Yeah, we understand.
You will get that back as long as you can stand behind it. That's the hard part. I think they often give stuff out, but then your product isn't even that great. Like, we can't help that situation.
It doesn't make it sell any better if your product
you have
sucks.
to have a good product to stand behind. And it has to stay consistent. I think that's like the hardest thing we see often is like we get people used to a product and then it's gone. Like we're having an issue with the paper plane situation and like there are changeovers that are happening. And it's like we got so many people stuck on paper planes and now it's like hard to get or the strains are different or not what we want of those strains are not available anymore. Like we're too low on their list. I'm not sure. Like I don't know if you get that often, but they're like, here's our available list. 75% of it's already sold out.
Yeah, I for even my store, it's like because it's such a small store that like I just already know, and so when brands actually go above and beyond for me, like I actually try to show those reps and those brands like a lot of love because I'm like, you guys don't have to because like I am not gonna be your like sometimes reps will come in and they're gonna be like, oh, I'll like try to sell it. I'm like, look, bro, I'm not that account. I'm never gonna be that account. Like, and if you're willing to work with me as a small person and support me, like I'm willing to support you, but like I can't even begin to have those kind of big sale conversations because it ain't happening.
And trust me, I understand that because we had to go from being the big account to not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so that was a interesting dynamic and a lot of ego for me and Richard to work on because it was hard. It was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're doing this? Or like I see other deals with other clubs. I'm like, why aren't we offered that deal? Well, you don't buy enough.
You don't spend $10,000 with us. And you're like,
but here's my thing with that. I have a theory with this. I think with some of these clubs that do that, then they take it back when it's expired and make it that brand's problem.
Yeah,
And it's
actually,
like,
yeah,
I
that's-
really would like to know at the end of the year, at the end of your quarter, how much different my account is from competitors.
on a 100% sell through versus non. Yeah,
That's valid.
It is 100% valid because I have gotten reps to open up to me about accounts like certain people, and they 100% are like, the brand has such a heavy interest in keeping that account that they do have power that
they
you
have
and
a
I
chokehold on you.
Yeah,
You're
that
no
we don't
longer
have.
in the power. They are.
Yeah. And it's really bad. I agree with credit backing if it's something like, the vape didn't work or the package opened or there was actually something
a batch
wrong.
of things that were not correct.
For sure. Let's get this resolved. But this, like, you can buy whatever you want from me and then I have to buy it back from you if it doesn't sell in your timeline, not even the expiration timeline. Okay, if something expired on your shelf, for sure you got to credit that store back. But if it's like 3 months on a fresh product, I'm like, no, you got 6 more months to sell that stuff, in my opinion,
3 months.
No,
I know.
Some people are like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
Yeah,
3
and then
months.
I never even really thought of people doing that in order to get the price break.
Yeah.
And that makes sense to.
And then the brand at the end of the day, you actually lost. And that's just when you have people negotiating deals for you and you're not necessarily maybe overseeing the whole thing, I could imagine a lot of shit goes down. I think
I've heard
there's
of
a lot
buyers
of brands
ask-
who have been affected by that kind of situation.
Yeah, well, I've also had sales reps tell me that there's certain dispensaries that make them have to pay to like have meetings, make them pay to be on the shelf, make them pay to be there. And I'm like, that's crazy. I thought like you being there was that's the part where we win, is that you let me mark it up to what I want, and it's my responsibility to sell it after I buy it from you. But I had no idea that there's people that are getting money for buying your stuff or even having a meeting with you.
Well, when we first started, people would come in and they'd be like, no, we'll rent your shelf space out, set space out and all this stuff. I was going through an audit at the time by CDTFA and I was learning a lot about what they can tax you on. So I was always on the standpoint of hell no. I don't want any other revenue besides what comes in my POS system. Like, this is crazy. So I've always really followed it to a T, maybe to my own detriment, that we didn't do a lot of that perk kind of stuff. But again, that's why I say, if you want to give something back to us to show us love, then you have to give it to my whole staff. Yeah. Not just to me, not just to Richard. Like, you have to give it back to them. They're the ones selling your product.
And honestly, like, I'd much rather give it to the staff anyways.
Yeah.
Like, they're the ones who are going to appreciate it. It's going to go so much further with them than with me, So just, hook up the bud tenders, man. Give them shirts, give them the backpacks, give them those things because they're the ones really doing it, you know? So, no, I'm a big supporter of the bud tender. I think that they need a lot of love because they do the most for everybody. I mean, they're really the bottleneck of the industry.
We call it the trenches, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have a product sell unless a bud tender sells it.
No.
And if they don't like you or they don't like your product, like, they are not going to sell
also
it.
what they tolerate. Like, they have to go through so much, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, but we also have benefits that other retail, non-cannabis retail businesses don't have, right?
It's true.
Like, we really do and can openly say, no, you're no longer allowed to shop here because you didn't follow this X amount of rule.
True.
You're never going to see somebody at Walmart doing that.
It's pretty hard to get banned from like a big retailer.
You're not going to get banned from like Kohl's or any of that kind of stuff. Like,
no, you're right. We do have that privilege.
Unless you shoplift, I guess.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Quite a bit. Yeah.
I agree. It is a privilege being a dispensary person is that you can just be like, boop.
Right.
No more.
Yeah, no, it's a trip.
It's crazy to think that you would want to do that in a business, but at some point you have to protect your staff because people get crazy.
We often have to protect our staff. Like, we tell them, especially because I have a lot of females.
Oh, yeah. People get real crazy.
There has to come a time, and I let them know, like, a lot of it is how you de-escalate a situation or nip the conversation in the bud. Like, you don't, if they're asking for your phone number, say you're not allowed to ask me for that. Like, it's okay for you to say that. And they're like, well, I feel like I'm being a bitch. Sometimes you got to be a bitch. Like, I have had to have so many conversations about the word bitch with my team because a lot of them are young females and they're like almost thrown off by it. I'm like, make it your power. Like, that's what I do. You want to call me a bitch? Please do. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm fine with it because I find power in it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you let them have that power by making it affect you, then that can be more problematic for you. So I try to like lift them up in that way of understanding, like, yeah, you're basically a bartender situation. Like, you got people who are going to act crazy. They may have had a couple beers. They're coming in here. Like, nothing about that is against our rules. Like, it's okay. You just got to know how to mitigate the situation and try to deal with it. And then, of course, the security or guys have to step in sometimes, and that's okay. Or my little Nana, who's like a Chihuahua rat terrier, man, I would not fuck with that woman. And she is, you know, but she will stand up for those girls too. And sometimes we have to. And we let people know, like, you leave as a group. You know, there's security protocols that we do.
It is really intense, the amount of sexual harassment bud tenders get.
People
male and female.
We also sell, like, it's just weird.
It's
what
weird.
happens. The conversations are weird. What they think it's okay to say, I don't think they would even say to a bartender. Mm-hmm. Like, they assume something about us because we work in weed.
Yeah, because of the drug culture. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely something with it because, like, I have to protect both my male and female bud tenders because, like, I even have women that come in here.
Oh, they can be worse.
They are because they're more forward. They're way more forward. I mean, I've had women call the store and be like, "Who was the guy that just helped me?" And we're like, so and so," and they're like, "Oh God, when does he work next?" And we're like, "We can't tell you that." They're like, "Oh, he's so dreamy," and I'm like, "Okay, guy," you know. But you're like, what is wrong with you, 45-year-old lady? Like, you're just in your car right now, just calling me to be like, "Who's that man in there?"
I swear, I think people would be surprised. You know how many times I've been asked what can help my libido? This is like a thing. Like, I know there's people who, you know, like, I get it. But I'm just, and look, I don't know. It's a fine line. Like, I don't want to turn somebody away if you want us to help you with that. But do I really, like, I'm going to be real honest. Do I officially know exactly what helps libido? Hell no.
No. Is this company going to help my wife have sex with me?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I sell the Conda Loves, and I just go, I don't know. This one says love on it. Yeah. What are you going to say?
That's all we can do at that point.
I'm like, probably not. It's probably going to make her more tired.
I should stop. Yeah. Why don't you just take this edible? Stop being a dick, and maybe she will. That's probably more of what we need to go around. Yeah, exactly. It's not her. She's not the problem, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very strange thing where people have this correlation that sex and cannabis like go together, and I'm like, they really don't, in my opinion, because it's like, it just makes me tired, especially edibles. I mean, maybe smoking it. The older
generation is the worst with it. Like, the 60-year-olds and above are the ones who usually ask us that the most, in my opinion. Like, I don't have a 30-year-old, 40-year-old coming in being like, you know, but maybe it's just what's on their mind. It's what they're going through.
They have a problem, maybe weed affects them. They're like, I'm trying to solve my problem. I need to find a product that solves this.
Maybe that was a thing back in the day, though. Maybe it was more of like
I think probably in the 60s, if you think about it.
Yeah, like the freedom of love, you know, sexy freedom movement. Maybe weed was a part of their culture. That's just not a part of ours, you know. But still, it's a funny question.
It's weird, though, when it's like a 70-year-old man. And at the time, I was like 25. And I remember thinking, holy shit, you just asked me that. Okay, I have to keep a straight face and this is like got to be a normal conversation right now. So
you're right.
Weird.
Straight face, because you want to be like, what?
But this is when my kids are like, you can have a conversation with anybody, and I laugh in my head thinking, you have no idea what I can have a conversation about.
It's true.
Yeah, and keep a straight face and act like this is serious when I am internally laughing my ass off. Thinking, why am I here? How did I get here? Or I'm like, Hail Mary, somebody else come in and take over this consult, please.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That I always just give them a 1-to-1 pre-roll. I'm like, here you go. Don't get too high, but have fun.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
A little low dose, right?
No, but with Pride Month, we got lots of fun items right now. So it's easy. It's like, here you go. Yeah, here you go. Take this one.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun.
It's so funny. Oh, my God.
But yeah, it can be a crack up.
Yeah, customers are funny.
You could have hours of conversation about customer stories. Like, somebody is going to need to, again, write a book that has to do with, that could just be like a comedic book of just all these short stories.
We're definitely like an industry like that that's like has its own uniqueness to it, you know, and the people. So, but Well, Haley, this has been a super fun conversation with you. I've had a good time, and I appreciate you coming and sitting down with us today. You are a very inspiring person, and I'm glad to highlight you because I think that it helps the other people out there that maybe are looking for those ladies that can inspire them, or maybe they could reach out to you or be a part of getting those support systems going, because I think a lot of people, especially young folks like we discussed earlier, are a little lost and they're not really sure where to go. And I think
absolutely.
And I think that people like yourself are a prime example. Mindy as well, of course, but you've obviously got that mentor spirit in you. And so if anybody ever wanted to reach out to you, how could they do that?
Yeah, my email is just Dixon Wellness Collective @gmail.com. Real simple and easy. I am on Instagram. I think it's Haley Andrew _CEO.
Okay.
And then there's also Dixon Wellness's Instagram. So there's and I monitor both. I don't have a social media manager or any of that. So when you're judging it, you're judging me. But I think it's Dixon Dixon _wellness. And it is like our fourth account that we have now had with Instagram.
And is Dixon Wellness 7 days a week?
7 days a week, 9 to 9. We are at 1150 North 1st Street in Dixon.
You can't miss it. If you're going through Dixon, it's either on your right or left-hand side.
We are not the one right off the highway.
No,
so you
don't
need to
go
come
there.
more into town. Nice lavender logo. That's us. We
it
look
is.
like a spa.
And
You
the
can find
laundromat.
us.
Look for the laundromat.
Look for the laundromat. Yes. No, it's hysterical. I swear, I'm trying to figure out how to make our branding more prominent, but it's very difficult with our regulations.
It's we're not washing our money in here.
Yeah. But we are on Facebook because Dixon is very, Facebook is Bible in Dixon. That's, if you hear any weird noise going on, that's where you go to first. So anyways, we're really big on Facebook too, which is just Dixon Wellness.
Dixon Wellness. Fantastic.
Thank you, Haley.
Yeah,
thank you guys. This was so fun. Thank you.
There's so many good nuggets, so much good wisdom that came from this episode. I'm glad that you came through and hung out with us.
I hope so, because I feel like we've just been chit-chatting. So I'm like, I don't know if you guys
This is it. Yeah. No, you've done great. You've really, Mindy's correct. You've really shared some really great things. I've learned things from just listening to you talk that, you're fantastic. So thank you so much. And
thank you guys for doing this.
Well, thank you to all of our listeners out there. And, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple, and pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. And we appreciate every one of you for sticking tuned to all the way to the end of the video. And if you need to get in contact with Haley, go do it. She's an open book. And if you're in Dixon, make sure to stop by. And Mindy, thank you so much for being a wonderful co-host as always. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.